Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Main Character Syndrome. I'm your host, Cheesymanfredo, aka and with me is my reliable co-host, Julian. Say hello, Julian.
Hello, that's me. My apologies that there wasn't a episode last week. I had to go back in time and stop myself from recording a different podcast. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, you don't usually hate when that happens. My car caught on fire, so I had to go back in time and prevent that.
Heard
but
about
I failed.
that. Heard about that.
It was pretty epic. Well, not really. I don't think God wants his podcast to exist. I think he wants.
I don't think God wants any podcast to exist.
He.
Is that why God closed Google Podcasts and said it's all going to YouTube Music now, even though YouTube isn't equipped to actually like host podcasts?
Yeah, God hates podcasts. He was like, "That's it. I'm going to destroy all podcasts," and he turned Ben into a leftist, and that was just the beginning of the end for the PCP. Gone.
He planted those allegations in Virgil Texas's name.
We were really the canary in the coal mine. It's true.
He fucking I can't think of any other podcasts that
there are no other podcasts.
He oh man, and anyway, that's Ben Saint. Ben Saint, our senior.
True.
Our former senior.
Older brother. Former
senpai Ben Saint.
That's me.
The real life junior senior.
It was
real life senior junior.
Oh yeah, that was a guy.
Speaking about dead podcasts, I was trying to look for a picture of Rebel Taxi Pan Pizza for a meme. And when I typed it in, like Pan Pizza Rebel Taxi, I found like a piece of fan art for with him and all the old members of the Pizza Party podcast. And it's like, damn, it's crazy how they all hate him now. That's funny.
I sure did say some nasty shit about him.
That's true.
Despite not knowing him at all.
he sent the Rebel Taxi mob.
Yeah, who cares though?
After you.
It's all good.
I attacked Saber Sparks. No, I didn't do that. I would never do that.
Saber Spark.
What if Saber Sparks like paid you $1 million just to talk to him?
That'd be crazy. Would you do that? Would anyone? I mean,
bro, Saber Spark.
It's very easy. Yes,
Saber Spark could give you semi-regular, modestly paying freelance work.
I heard
you're really gonna say no to that?
He tweeted out like a month ago or something that he was like interested in like starting some sort of like production company that funds like indie animation projects.
Neat.
And it's
interesting.
We need to get on Saber Spark's good side because I think next year is gonna be the year of animation for me. I'm gonna do a pivot.
Now is the time. The advent of AI insists upon it.
Yeah, I was mulling over after. Did I ever tell you, Ben, that Extra Souls got rejected from Silver Sprocket?
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Happened like they didn't say, but
I kind of meant to submit some of my old shit to Silver Sprocket, but I forgot to by the deadline.
You could try next spring. Don't forget to put that you're gay in your bio and that you're trans too.
Okay. Do I need to get gay and trans first, or can I do that later?
If
you might need to have some prior history of you being both gay and trans publicly available for them to review.
Okay. Next open submission is in spring, so if you can just get gay and trans by spring, I think you have a shot.
That sounds, I'm kind of an expert at becoming both of those things, and I think that sounds very doable.
You surround yourself with gay trans people, not on purpose.
No. No.
It just happens. You're like a gay trans magnet.
Yeah, that's right. we're gonna make it happen. Okay.
But
anyway,
everyone got rejected like on the same day because when I got my email, I was talking to a couple of buddies and they're all like, "Yeah, I got my email too," and I got rejected. It seemed like everyone got the same kind of email.
Honestly,
they're all like,
I don't know what Silver Sprocket is. I think I saw you posting about it. Like, these guys are looking for publications, and I was like, okay, cool. Are they good?
They published Pinky and Pepper Forever,
All right, cool.
right?
They were also the people who published the Boop comic, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, they published Mr. Boop.
They published
That
it like as a book.
yeah, yeah, as a
Yeah.
book.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Good
I
for
mean,
them.
I I did have a buddy who got published by them recently, and I
Oh
asked
yeah.
if it was for the open submission, and they said that nah, they because one of their editors just saw their stuff on like TikTok. Well, like no, I mean on Twitter, my bad.
Mm,
And it's kind of like, damn. I guess that's just it, huh? I guess that you just need to have been seen
yeah,
online or
probably. I
something,
mean, if
right?
they're calling for open submissions, I'm sure there's a chance they might pick someone, but like maybe not.
It's funny because a buddy of mine, like, when everyone was talking about getting the rejection letter, they're all like, "Huh, I haven't gotten mine." So they thought they still had an in, but then they soon checked their email and they did get a rejection letter. Um,
What would they get if they got a letter that was like, you're accepted, you're in, you're now part of the Silver Sprocket family. Then what happens?
then their stuff would get published in a couple of months or something.
Do they get money?
Yeah, they get money. They'll pay. They pay like for it up front.
Okay.
In their open submissions, page they said that like, oh, people, we don't want to promise how much you're gonna roughly get at the start, but because a lot of the money is for the royalties of selling the book.
Yeah, I'm sure it
But at the
depends on a
start they
number of
said,
factors.
yeah, at the start they said that you'd get like 500.
Okay,
That was just like a number they threw out there.
sure.
Mm.
Um, and everyone is very curious about what actually got accepted.
Yeah,
Mostly just to see what the line of quality is, right?
I'd be
Yeah.
curious.
Mm-hmm. And mostly, I think people just want to be mad to see.
What did you submit? Oh, you submitted Extra Souls,
Yeah, Extra Souls.
right?
Yeah, and I thought Extra Souls was good. I mean, I even got like one of my old work mentors that used to work at IDW to take a look at it at the kind of like the pitch package that I made,
Yeah,
and he said that should look good,
yeah.
and
I
he
thought it
gave
was
me the
pretty good.
thumb. Yeah, I thought it was good too. He gave me the thumbs up, and yeah, did it get accepted?
Hmm.
He did tell me he did went to their store recently, like their head store, and said that like he didn't really think their selection was that great.
I mean, I mean, with things like this, it's not really like it's not even just about like they're gonna pick anything that's good enough. Like they're looking to fill out like certain quota of something, and like
They got a
they could be
brand.
looking for something of a certain genre or something that fits a certain criteria, and you just don't know. It's you just going
Yeah,
on. They're just going on vibes. They're picking on vibes, and who knows what arcane algorithm they're trying to appease.
I
People that said the same thing about Fantagraphics, I think.
It's true there as well.
Fantagraphics is a interesting type of beast. I've been just hearing all places are just like rejecting you, and it really just sounds like I don't it is all just luck, obviously, right? That's no fucking surprise. But there's people that are like pretty popular and they still are getting like rejected.
Yeah, because
So
they want they've got something very specific. They've got a specific criteria they're trying to fulfill.
mm, mm,
What?
yeah. No, I'm just
It's
I agree. Yeah, they do have a type of
It kind of reminds me of like the
brand.
first few
Yeah.
years when Scott Pilgrim came out. Only Press had several other, whoa, it's a video game comic books come out, but nobody remembers those because they're not Scott Pilgrim.
mm,
There's a I don't want to be like I remember, but I do remember that there you're totally right on the whole like trying to do the whole video game thing after Scott Pilgrim. I remember reading one, and it might have been Only Press that published this one too. That was basically about this guy who like was very conflicted about getting a doctorate because it was pushed on him by his dad, and it was told through the metaphor of like Pac-Man and the Pac-Man Ghost.
Oh my god.
And in my head, I was like, I mean, I can't even remember if it was good or bad. I remember reading the whole thing, but I can't remember if I liked it or not. I wonder if it probably was just fine. It was probably fine because like I tend to remember if I hate a comic when I read it when I was younger,
Yeah.
right? But if I can't remember if it was good or bad, it probably means it was just fine. It was palpable. You know, I consumed it and then I moved on, right? Um, I don't know if too many people would be into the video game thing. You can't like. When was like the last?
I went to
Yeah,
a pizzeria today, and the pizzeria, all their fucking pizzas were like themed by some shit. They were called things like the Pickle Rick. I'm not kidding. They were called things like the Pickle Rick.
That's awesome.
and the Nick Fury and the Goddard, as in like the dog from Jimmy Neutron, and you know, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on, and I don't even know what fucking point I'm making.
Were you disgusted?
The point I'm
Which one
making is
did
that I
you
hate
get?
video games, and I hate nerds, and I hate nerd culture, and I hate culture in general, and I hate art in general. And
What if
and that's the point I'm making.
What if like their pizzas were named after Homestuck characters? Would you like that instead?
I would be a little.
It's
I would be a little
moderately more
surprised.
respectable.
I would be surprised. I would, I think I would respect it because it's a little more. I mean, it's not niche, but it's not like Marvel. You know, it's not main television network level. I would
There's
be
still
like,
some risk involved.
Interesting choice to. Interesting choice to call this pizza a Scalemate. You know, not many people are gonna know what that is. So, I'd feel a little more positively about it. It's true.
Not true. I admit it. I'll eat the Homestuck pizza.
You got me. Hypocrite that I am. I would order a Doc Scratch.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was in Salem. It was in Salem, Massachusetts, where very Reddit.
What's it called?
Very Reddit. Very Reddit town.
Was it called the Super Mario Brothers Pizzeria? Was that one? I feel like that's the obvious choice.
The name did not prepare me for the like millennial nerd theming that I was about to get on the ins. I don't even remember what it was called. It had a normal name.
Normal name. In my old neighborhood, there was like a place called Luigi's Pizzeria.
Oh, you're like, oh, is that a video game reference?
Yeah, ironic. Yeah,
gaming
exactly. Yeah, I fucking love gaming. Yeah, like exactly. As a kid, it was my shit. The pizza was fine. I don't remember it being. I've never been much of a pizza head because to me most pizza taste the same.
I like it fine. I
think it's too grease. Too much grease. Too greasy. Oh, I don't like the grease.
I think the first video game I ever played may have been a like Mario
Fortnite.
A Mario World arcade cabinet in a pizzeria.
Mario World arcade cabinet?
Like yeah, like okay, not the old Mario Bros that's like 2-player and you fight each other in the arena full of like Koopas. No, like playing like NES Mario I remember playing an NES Mario on a cabinet.
That's so crazy. I wonder if that was. I'm gonna look that up right now because that sounds insane to me.
Does that exist?
I don't doubt it exists because that was still a big market at the time.
I did play Super Mario Bros. The competitive one. You know the one I'm talking about with the arena and black screen. Yeah, I did play that at my mom's job because she worked at this one school that had like a teacher's lounge, and there was an arcade cabinet in the teacher's lounge that had a bunch of different games on it you could play, and it was free because it was for teachers. And one of them was Mario Bros. I was like, oh, my mom gets to play video games at work.
Was this the cabinet? This is what I found.
Holy shit.
Is it in which chat is it in?
Look at those SNES pads.
It's in
No, I'm sorry, not Mario, not Super Mario World, like the one on the NES, the original.
Oh, Super Mario Bros. Okay.
Yes, yeah, Super Mario Bros.
I feel like I feel that was more believable because I was like, damn, for the one for the Super Nintendo. Because I remember playing that one a lot on Game Boy.
Yeah, it might have been this one. I don't remember.
I can't see if this is like a
Wait,
custom build
but
one.
are you familiar with the original Mario Bros game, not Super Mario Bros, the one before that, the arcade cabinet?
Yeah, the one that where you're like in the pipes and
Yes,
the
yeah,
turtles
okay,
come out of
okay.
the pipes. Yeah.
Okay.
The
A
turtles come out
classic.
of the pipe, not officially named Koopas at the time.
I
Um,
I thought you probably would know, but I just wanted to confirm.
yeah,
I don't think that's an obscure reference or anything. Don't
yeah,
print in the
you know,
paper that I thought that was an obscure reference.
I'm into obscure games, like Super Mario Bros. You might have not heard of
No, that was Mario Bros, not Super Mario Bros.
it.
Haven't you seen that Jan Miesel
uh,
video about how many
no.
Super Mario Bros games are there?
That sounds like a video. It might have been recommended to me.
It's a good video,
I saw
and he
one where
has
it's
data.
like random list of Mario enemies, of obscure Mario enemies that only appeared in one games.
I saw a video about
Um,
that just the other day, and I
oh, oy vey.
didn't recognize him because I didn't play him.
What was I gonna say? You reminded me of something. Gaming Pizzeria.
Yeah.
We are talking about Scott Pilgrim. Oh, did you see the Netflix show, the Scott Pilgrim Take Off His Clothes?
Watched
No,
it twice.
I mean, I have not watched it. I have heard that they Final Fantasy VII remaked it, which I think is funny because there was a 0% chance I was going to watch it if it was just a remake. Now there's like maybe a 5% chance I'll watch it now that I know it's its own thing.
It's pretty neat. I saw the whole thing in one go because episodes weren't too long,
How
and
many
I know
episodes
that
is it?
there's only like 8 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's funny how people thought people were like, oh, there's gonna be a season two, and it's like, why?
You know,
Why the fuck would there be a season two?
I saw a tweet. There's someone it was like an article that apparently Brian Lee O'Malley said that because they were concerned they could get canceled, they were like, let's just make it one self-contained season instead of planning on continuing. And the person that retweeted this article was like, oh, it's such a problem. Creators are worried that they might get canceled for no reason, so they don't like plan to make longer shows. They just plan to end their shows. Like that's such a tragedy. And I'm like, no, you're so fucking stupid. You're so stupid that you think that. It's so much. I think I'm so glad that he was afraid to get canceled. Thank you for making a self-contained show that fucking ends. You moron. What's wrong with you that you think that? I love it when art is finished.
It's kind of like when an
only good
anime
thing that it
comes out
does.
and that's the only season of that anime, and it's like, I hope to God this sold no merchandise
the
because I
attitude-
don't want more of this.
That's the attitude that got us 18 Fooly Cooly remakes or whatever.
True.
Right. I like it when people Spiral loves calling Scott Pilgrim the actual Fooly Cooly 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty good. And then he calls Chainsaw Man Fooly Cooly 3. And I'm like, okay, maybe.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
And so
I don't know about that one,
is
bud.
is this new Scott Pilgrim Fooly Cooly 2-2?
It's Fooly Cooly grunge, or it's actual Fooly Cooly progressive, or whatever the fuck. God, I've never talk about something I'm never gonna fucking watch ever.
What is the new? What is the? Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new Fooly Coolies. What is the new Scott Pilgrim called? Is it still called Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
It's called Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Okay. So
he takes off from the show because
I heard that he's not there for a lot of it.
They do the people were comparing this to because they kind of did this with the He-Man show they made where it's like, oh, in the first episode we see He-Man, then he dies, and then the whole season he's just not there, and it's more about the repercussions of the death of He-Man, even though the show is still called He-Man. And
I liked that twist though. Like,
I thought that was kind of interesting. I do not believe anyone's an actual fan of He-Man. Like, I just do not believe it.
Oh no, not anymore.
I don't believe anyone is that fucking dedicated.
That's exclusively Kevin Smith's thing. We're all happy for him.
Nobody like. Maybe there's some Gen Xers that are like nostalgic for it, but everyone, I think everyone considers it. Some people are nostalgic for. Some people still like Transformers, even though it's an equally cynical, like toy commercial. But He-Man was like nakedly that, and I feel like less people like found anything to like genuinely love.
It's not as like, and the way people talk about it, it's the same energy of when people talk about Ghostbusters, where it was this thing that was like this epic adventure, and it's like, well, no, it was just kind of like a dry comedy,
Right.
and He Man was just kind of like it was a pretty kiddie show, you know. It was same like Ninja Turtles, where they had weapons, but they didn't really use them, you know, to
Yeah.
fight,
I was
right?
I was a big Ninja Turtle head, as in like the Saturday morning cartoon. I was like
Nice.
fucking I
I
don't
think
5 whatever.
I think it's time to I think it's time to go back to your roots, Ben. Time to become a turtle head again.
I have occasionally wondered if I should read the comics at some point and see what all
Oh,
the
those
fuss
are
is
good.
about.
The IDW comics is not bad.
I yeah, I mean I know that they're very different, which is interesting. I heard about that, long
Hmm.
after I stopped watching the cartoon. I was like, "Oh, really?"
I
I
I
kind
don't
of
know if
didn't.
you'll
I didn't
like.
even know it was based on something, and then I found out. I was like, "Wow, source
I
material."
really IDW comics pretty good because it's like amalgamation of like everything from like the original '80s cartoon
Yeah,
and the
isn't
recent stuff.
okay. I learned. I think they said this. They probably learned this from like Red Letter Media, but like apparently the whole Ooze origin story is just like a reference to Judge Dredd. Or no, not Judge
Like
Dredd. The Toxic Avenger.
Daredevil.
Oh
Oh,
no, Daredevil. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, because in Daredevil's origin was that he was like crossing the street and this blind guy was about to get hit by a truck with like nuclear waste and he pushed him out of the way, but the nuclear
Oh,
waste
that's
hit him in the
clever.
eye, right? While
Yeah,
at the same time, there in that same story, there was like a kid holding like a pet or something, I guess. And it's like, what if like that same accident that made Daredevil also accidentally made the Turtles? And the whole idea of the Foot Ninja Clan, they're a parody of the Ninja Clan from Daredevil called the Hand,
Yeah.
yes.
right? Yeah,
That's so
so it was all
awesome. That's fucking
it's
sick.
it's like one of those. It's like it's a parody, but they played it straight, and that's kind of like
Yeah,
the joke. But if I guess if you weren't super like kids wouldn't be super aware of like that dark gritty like Frank Miller reestablishment of Daredevil because that's directly what they're referencing.
yeah.
So like that would go over kids' heads
I
and they
would
would
never have done
like
that ever. But that's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so much better that like that's like the backstory is just that it happened like at the with Daredevil. Like it's like by all rights, that's the story. So it should be set in the DC in the Marvel
the
universe,
Marvel universe.
but it's
Oh,
not.
wrong universe,
But it's
kill this man
not.
right now.
It's just it should be, but it's not, and it's so much funnier. It's so much better.
It
I
it is
wonder if you
pretty.
could get away with that now, like with everything being like reference fodder for freaks. You
I
wouldn't be able
wondered.
to like under the radar that.
I
Do you
really
think Marvel ever tried to like pursue any legal damages or royalties over
it's
that
it's
or
like
anything?
it's like different enough, right? Like it's at this point, it's
It's
like they have
clearly a
their own lore,
parody,
and
kind of.
also like each adaptation tells it differently. I think the '80s cartoon it was that, and in the 2003 cartoon, which is the one I grew up with, it was that too. Okay, actually, in the 2012 cartoon, it was that too. Never mind, it's pretty consistent.
Yep.
Except for Rise of the TMNT, they really like go in a different direction, but it works for that show.
That's the new one.
That was like the recent one that got kind of canceled
The
like
one that
early.
everyone was like, "Why did they make April ugly?" Ugh. Well, the
Why did
West
they
has
make
fallen.
April black? That was the movie that came out.
Yeah.
That movie was good. I like it. I don't know if you'll like it though, Ben.
Well,
I don't know.
I thought the designs looked nice, but
It
I thought it looked interesting, but it didn't make me want to go to the theater and sit down and watch it or anything.
they do this the way humans are designed in that movie is kind of like that old like stuff like Klatsky Chupo like Rugrats or the Wild Thornberries like how all the
Sure.
Or
humans look like
Duckman.
ugly. It
Yeah.
looks like that but like 3D animated and it looks pretty good.
Posting a picture of Tommy Pickles. Why'd they make the protagonist ugly? Whatever happened? Art should be about pursuing classical beauty. Art should be aspirational.
And then someone replies, "Bro, why are you advocating for this baby to be made
Baby's not
sexy?"
sexy enough. What the
God,
fuck?
why did they make
Why are we
this
normalizing
underage
this?
why did they make the underage Mexican girl ugly? Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't their 12-year-old sexy?
Mm-hmm.
What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? I like that. I like the recent Ninja Turtles movie. It was pretty good. There's a whole thing about it's a pretty new take because it's like oh, Splinter learns to stop being racist towards humans.
Was he racist towards humans?
In this
Yeah.
movie, he like, oh, because humans like judge him because he's like a mutant rat and he lives in the sewer, and the
Yeah.
turtles grow up with kind of like the rem. They like they're on the internet. They see like human pop culture and they want to be a part of that, and they're all like, oh, we're not going to be accepted. But they learn that people can accept them, and I think that's why the choice of having the ugly human, making the humans look ugly, makes it works as like, oh, because then at the end of the movie, and this is the crazy part, at the end of the movie, the turtles do end up going to high school and they are accepted because like the mutants are as ugly as the humans, so it's like it's not that big of a bridge to walk over, you know.
Interesting.
They're the main villain is like a guy who's like a giant mutant fly who is racist towards humans. He wants to wipe them all out. He's trying to do the fucking lizard thing where it's like I made a bomb that turns humans into lizards.
Wait, the guy who's a fly. He's in the other adaptations.
Yeah, Baxter Stockman. They
Yeah.
do have Baxter Stockman in the new one, but he's like not the main villain. He creates like the original like mutants, and he has like a fly son that he's created, and
Mm.
but it's implied that I think Baxter Stockman is like killed because he gets like swatted.
Yeah, he doesn't
And
show up anywhere else in the movie after that.
yeah, and his mutant fly son like takes his like he's like I'm gonna avenge you, father, by wiping out humanity. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of his angle. So it's kind of like a remix of it. And I think that's fine. They do the end credit thing where it's like, oh, and then like here's the new Fred, and you could probably guess who the next villain's gonna be because it's like, oh, I wonder what's the other most famous Ninja Turtle character that didn't show up in this movie. Oh, gee whiz, I wonder.
Is
You
it
know,
Shredder?
yes, it's Shredder.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
no,
established him at
I
the
should have
end.
gone for the twist. I should have. Is it Krang?
Is it Krang? Maybe I wouldn't.
Everybody loves Krang.
Do you remember the name of that heavy
They
set
hint
guy from the 2003 show?
Han.
Yeah,
Heavy
Han.
they
set
should just
guy.
do a movie with Han.
Okay, in the 2003 Turtles, there was like a blonde, like kind of like a he's like a white guy, but he knows a lot of martial arts, and he's like a kind of like a west like a weeaboo,
Wait,
but for like
is that the guy with like the Punisher mask?
no, that's Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different guy.
Okay.
No, Han, TMNT. He's like a big guy. He's big and blonde. And he's like a reoccurring like kind of like villain in that 2003 Turtles show. He's kind of interesting because they brought him into the IDW canon,
This guy
but
looks like he would have been piloting a mech on Pandora. Looks
yeah,
exactly like
you know
that
what?
guy.
No, you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
He shows up in the IDW comics, and it's very interesting how he shows up because they get another established character, and then they transform him into this guy, and it's like that feels so random. Like
Huh.
it's interesting, but it feels so like they picked a random character to turn into this guy. In the IDW comics, he's actually Casey Jones' dad, and
Huh.
but when he first shows up, he looks nothing like the 2003 cartoon until Casey Jones is like, "I'm leaving, Dad, because you're abusive and you're drunk and you're an alcoholic." And
Mm-hmm.
then his dad's all like, "Oh, my son Casey Jones was right. I'm gonna go back to working out and I'm gonna dye my hair blonde." And I'm like, "Oh, he
Many
just
such
becomes
cases.
had." Yeah.
Wait, he like gets mad and decides to get buff to vent his frustrations because his son left him.
Yeah, his son left him
He
and
got
he
dumped by his
realized
son, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get ripped and show that fucking show him who's boss.
it's the way the
I'm gonna live
comic
my
play.
best life without my son."
If I may, if I'm in my head, I interpret it as kind of like, okay, maybe he thinks that his son doesn't respect him in a masculine kind of way.
Mm,
So he thinks like, okay, I used to be, because he said this is used to be his old look, and then when he became a dad, he became schlubby and never dyed his hair, but
mm.
now he's like, I need to go back to my bad boy thug roots. So he like went back to being like a criminal and a minor crime boss in New York City, and that's like kind of like the direction they go.
I
And
see.
it's interesting. I kind of do dig the whole like Oh, just slap everything together from
I do
previous
not
canons.
remember this guy from the 80s cartoons at
He was not
all.
in the 80s
Then again, I
cartoons.
was like 4 when I watched those, so
Damn.
It's kind of shocking how many episodes of the 80s cartoon they made, though. Like,
I
whenever I
think
sit down to watch it, I'm like, how many of these
The
are there?
80s
Fuck.
cartoon like ended in the 90s. Like it went on for a really long time.
I don't know if I was watching like new episodes or if I was watching reruns, but I think I was into it and I had a bunch of toys of it, at least a couple of them. I think, and then I probably dropped them and got into Power Rangers. I probably dropped TMNT for Power Rangers. And that was like when Power Rangers was like new. When Power Rangers was like a new thing. I was there, I was on the ground floor. I was, yeah.
So around that time, you would have been watching the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes animated series.
I remember seeing like a commercial for it, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. I'm like, has anyone seen this cartoon?
I don't.
Is this cartoon real? Lost media?
That can't have lasted. Because I know they made a bunch of like property tie-ins that tried to ape the Turtles. They made Biker Mice from Mars. They made Street Sharks.
Yeah.
They were even trying to
I did see both of those on TV.
They did even try to like do that within the Turtles. They were trying to establish
Bucky O'Hare, if that counts.
Bucky O'Hare.
Oh, they did the cartoon, the sci-fi. They gave the Mighty Ducks like the hockey team with the movie. They basically gave.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
I actually remember watching that.
They made they made the Looney Tunes. They made an edgy like 2000s.
Yeah, Lunatics Unleashed.
Yeah, they gave the Mighty Ducks the Lunatics Unleashed treatment before the Lunatics Unleashed, and they made them like science alien ducks.
I have like I didn't hate the Lunatics Unleashed because I had like barely any context.
No, I never actually watched the Lunatics Unleashed. I just know it by reputation.
It was that
I kind of got like, tired of it after they did the reveal. Oh, that lady that gives them their missions, she's just a lady. We're expanding the lore. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Terrific.
I know it got kind of like sillier because then they introduce Elmer Fudd as like an evil bounty hunter.
Yeah,
and then Porky Pig turned out to be like
no, that sounds unironically good.
like they should do Lunatics Unleashed, but like give it the Tails Gets Trolled treatment instead.
Did they play it for comedy at all?
At the start they were like super serious.
Okay, yeah. If they eventually start playing the premise for comedy, I think it would be genuinely funny, or it could be.
It was
they just needed better writers.
In the first episode, like a fucking race of like robot evil Vikings show up to Earth and they have to like fight against them, and it's super serious. But then later I think it got kind of like goofier because they're all like, okay, let's be a little sillier with it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
well, you got to establish the serious baseline, which you can then deviate from in a subversion of expectations.
It's funny because now that I think about it, their origin of how they got their superpowers is like the same origin of how like the Flash on the CW TV show got his superpowers. Now that I think about it,
how did
there was like in Lunatics there was like I think a meteor passed by. It hit Earth and it's like wave of radiation like gave like specific because there's humans exist on their world, but they're also like furry people. Then they never like kind of like they never talk about any racism or anything between furries and humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like a few select furries, which are the Lunatics, they got their powers through the meteor, right?
I think in the canon,
so there was like
they
were already living in like a BoJack Horseman sort of situation.
Unironically, yeah, BoJack Horseman ass situation.
Huh.
Right, and then the meteor hit and its wave of radiation and enveloped the city, but it only like negatively affected them and giving them superpowers. I guess there might have been other people who got powers too, but I can't recall.
You guys ever see a movie called Meteor Man?
I've heard of it. It's like it's a black guy, right?
It is a black. I think it was like a comedy superhero movie. I think he was a comedian. I don't remember who the star was. I barely remember it. There was another one called
I think I saw that movie like the year it came out.
I think I watched it on TV. Did you? What about Blank Men?
I've heard of Blank Man.
Blank Man, I think was like a raunchy. It was like a raunchy superhero comedy starring a black comedian. Again, I don't remember who it was.
They were I heard rumors like for years they've been trying to like do the Blank Man reboot.
No way.
The property is still up in the air, but like no one's like clawing at the bit for playing Blank
No,
Man.
I never hear anyone mention either of those movies. But it's like I think the backstory of Meteor Man is that literally just like a meteor just like hits him like from space, and just instead of just obliterating him, he just absorbs it into his
Gives him
body, and
superpowers.
now he has the power of a meteor. Whatever that means.
He flies through space and crashes into things, killing them instantly.
I assume he can fly.
Yeah.
He's probably super strong. Maybe he has some kind of beam.
I do recall something resembling a beam in like my mind's eye.
I just remember it was green. The meteor was green, and everything glowed green, and you watch it like absorb into his skin.
I like one movie I really love and I need to rewatch it. It's called Mystery Men.
I
And
remember Mystery Men.
Mystery Men's great. It's for context for the audience. The song All Star by Smash Mouth was made for the Mystery Men movie. And that's actually, if you watch the music video, that's a clip from like Mystery Men.
Are you sure it was made for the movie?
Well, it's got a music video tied to it, right?
It does. I'm not sure it was made for the movie, but it was.
You know what? Hold up.
It was heavy. Yeah, the movie was heavily promoted alongside the song, even before Shrek. Shrek also had All Star in it, right?
Yeah. It opened with All Star.
Yeah.
But Smash Mouth made a new song for that movie. Okay, the song accompanied music video featured characters from the superhero movie Mystery Men, which itself prominently featured All Star. The song became ubiquitous in popular culture. The song rock band. I guess it's not. Doesn't say if it was made for Mystery Men. I like to believe it was.
I would right? It's possible. I would be shocked, but you never know. I mean, there's nothing really relevant to the movie about the song.
I mean, the plan was, I guess, so they really wanted to license the song as fast as possible. And that's kind of like why you hear that song everywhere in the early 2000s. And the first movie they had lined up to license. Is that why? Because
like Mystery Men wasn't like it was a fairly popular movie, but it wasn't like a colossal hit.
That's how the music industry works.
It was not a huge hit, and I can see why. It's not the most. I don't know. There's not that much mainstream appeal with that movie.
I remember I watched Mystery Men several times.
Ben Stiller
I think I had it on VHS or DVD or something.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, he's kind of like the Hulk in the movie. He doesn't turn huge and green, but his whole gimmick is that he gets so angry, he gets super strength, but he's like incredibly weak.
And who's the guy that plays the Digger?
I forget, but I know he's in like a lot of things.
That's another right? like big name guy.
I like the one. Okay, William H. Macy, the Shoveler.
Yes, the Shoveler.
Paul Rubens in it. He plays the Spleen. Hank Azaria's in it.
Wait, Paul Rubens. That's Pee Wee Herman, right?
Yep. Hank Azaria's in it, and he also kind of plays a racist character. He plays the Blue Raja.
I do remember that guy.
He's like, he can't help himself. He's always got to play a racist.
I don't think I ever realized until this moment that was Pee Wee Herman. What the fuck? But yeah, it was totally him.
He does. Paul Rubin looks a lot like Alan Cummings, and sometimes I get their like roles confused.
I do that too. Like I saw something the other day with Alan Cummings, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought he was older than that.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, I see it.
And it was actually Pee Wee Herman.
Didn't Pee Wee Herman die?
Yes, he died. He died this year. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. I tweeted out, and I was 100% serious about this tweet. Someone just give me $9,000, and I'll lock myself in my house for 9 months making the Pee Wee Herman RPG Maker game. But no one's taking me up on that offer.
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I kind of don't want that to
the
exist.
Rights who Pee Wee's Playhouse, you just need to like gaslight them into thinking that it's their idea. Like, you know those ads that they take out for the movie awards where it's like for your consideration, and then your brain
Yeah.
subliminally thinks, "Oh yeah, I should vote for that movie. I'm a movie executive and I'm part of the Academy." You gotta do
See,
that to whoever has the PV
we
rights.
could do that, but I was thinking I have a better idea, a better plan, and they're gonna do this. I'll just convince them that it's an NFT. Whoever owns the rights to Pee Wee Herman, they're like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is an NFT. We'll make that Pee Wee Herman NFT, and I'll just take the money, make the RPG Maker game, and yeah, fuck it, get sued, I guess later or something." I could probably totally pull this off maybe a couple years ago. I don't know how down Paul Rubin would have been for NFTs, but he'd probably do it because everyone was just saying yes to it back then,
Yeah.
back in the old days,
The old days of 2002.
the old days of the quarantine.
You mean
Oh, so
2022?
yeah. Do you
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know how I don't know if you guys go outside,
No.
but
Very often.
Well, I did it
Regrettably.
today, but it was an aberration.
but recently, so, kind of like a thing people have been noticing is that Black Friday isn't as hectic as it used to be. More like there's you go to like Walmart or the mall or Target, and there's barely anyone there now. Like
Oh yeah.
mostly because
Is it
like people
because
don't have.
shopping is online now?
That's a part of it. A part of it could also be that those deals just aren't worthwhile anymore. They're not like as they're
Mm,
barely deals, right? And
yeah.
I
I
saw
think
a
that
video of a lady
I mean,
like pulling back the Black Friday tags at a Target, and the prices were the same. Like Target apparently isn't even trying. They
ugh,
just
yeah,
pretend to have a Black Friday sale, but the prices are the same.
right, exactly.
that's brutal.
Um, and because of it, there's been kind of this trend of like younger like kids on TikTok saying they wish they could have experienced that hectic like Black Fridays, right? Like those moments in history, and it's
That's so
so like
weird.
that is such a weird thing to romanticize that like era of Black Friday. And
Yeah.
it made me think I got a little prediction now. I think that in the future, all the kids that were born during the quarantine are gonna romanticize it and be like, God, I wish I got to live through that historic
Oh, yeah.
moment,
People
right?
already say they're nostalgic for lockdowns and shit. People say that
Yeah,
all
the
the
people.
time.
That's where the motherfuckers were having fun during the fucking quarantine.
I mean, I get it.
Motherfuckers were.
It had its upsides.
Yeah, it was
I
charmed.
miss going to the grocery store and everyone being too afraid to function. I could actually shop.
That was pretty epic.
It was kind of aesthetic. It was sort of a vibe.
Hmm.
Getting in line because the building's at capacity. You can only have 12 people shopping at once.
Yeah.
If I go back in time, I'll prevent the quarantine, and maybe the PCP would
Yeah,
stay
definitely.
together.
Hey, definitely go back in time. Do not prevent COVID, but do prevent lockdowns. Do prevent masking. Prevent the vaccine if you can manage it.
If I'll drag the vaccine out for another year or two, just if I could just
Exactly.
I'll go back in.
Yeah.
There should
Give the virus to
idea
Trump sooner.
new time travel murder mystery idea. Someone goes back in time to murder people during quarantine, so they could be added to the quarantine deaths, and during the
Honestly,
COVID deaths, and it's like that's how they're trying to get away with it, And it's a time traveling detective. I got to stop this
That's pretty
guy.
good.
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like some like is it historical fiction if it was like 2 years ago? But I feel like I feel like his historical fiction set in quarantine is like do people do that? Do people make stuff
I
like
mean,
that?
I wouldn't be
Isn't
Is
that the
that a
surprised.
premise of that
subgenre?
video game that everyone's playing with the incest twins or whatever?
Oh
Oh
yeah, doesn't
yeah,
that one take place
the
during
coffin
quarantine?
of Andy and Laylee.
People
Yeah.
really drawing a lot of porn. Is this
Too
it? Are
much.
we seeing the dawn of people being okay with incest?
Dan Harmon finally gets his wish.
He did it. That son of a bitch did it. um, was it gonna? Yeah, yeah. I got an idea for a historical fiction story. It's about an alternate reality where my parents didn't get divorced. That's my historical fiction.
Mm, mm. Strains my suspension of disbelief a little bit.
A little bit too crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh, Ben, you beautiful man. You just reminded me of something that pissed me off recently.
Oh hell yeah.
And I'm not gonna save this for who deserves to be canceled at the end of the show because I was too upset about this. This is crucial. This goes beyond getting canceled.
All
But
right. They deserve to get
I
killed.
yeah, they deserve to get doxxed. Every main character syndrome fans, dock and kill this man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, don't fucking do that. It's nothing.
That's
But
endorsed.
I really hate analog horror. I do not like analog horror. It's really like the
Um,
least
you know,
scariest kind of like shit out there, in my opinion.
what can you? I don't really like horror much in most cases, with maybe a few exceptions. Can you explain what exactly is analog horror?
You know, like you ever heard of the Mandela catalogs?
No,
Oof.
sorry.
Trying to. Okay, analog horror is kind of like an ARG without the ARG, I guess.
Okay.
Um, you know how like shit like I guess stuff like the fucking that one Slender Man one, I forget what it's
Marble
called.
Hornets.
Marble
Yeah,
Hornet.
Marble Hornet. It's okay, imagine Marble Hornets but cheaper. Like
Okay.
they all the like a
I
guy
feel
isn't
like you
out there
can't really get
recording.
much cheaper than Marble Hornets.
Oh, you could get way cheaper.
I see.
It depends. Analog horror is kind of like a vibe, but the whole idea is that like a lot of it, every premise of when it's like, oh, these like old tapes or this old PSAs or oh
Okay.
wait, the fucking that one guy,
Is it all
the
centered around like obsolete media?
low key, yeah. There's the I think the two best examples of analog horror and unironically probably the only good ones are the Mandela catalogs. Actually, I think the early Mandela catalog videos are the best ones, and anything after that is kind of like dull.
Mm-hmm.
And another one would be the creator of Candle Cove did one. I forgot what it's called. It was like he got like public domain footage of stuff, and he would kind of cobble together to make like weird PSAs, like, "Oh, don't go outside and look at the sun. You're gonna start to melt and shit like that," you know.
Hmm.
And then it would end with like, "Ha, JK, this was just like a like a drill. This wasn't like the actual event of the sun literally melting you,
Okay.
right?"
Okay.
It and it was like spooky, and it had like a VHS filter over it, and yeah, you know, it was like, oh, we found these spooky VHS tapes, and
So
there's no
okay.
actual footage. It's mostly just still image, but we're gonna pretend something's
To be
moving there.
analog horror, does it have to be pretending to be like from that era? Like it's
Yes
Part of the
and
presentation is
no.
in how it's delivered, I think. Like,
A
you have to
lot of
have
the
some of it couched in, like, oh, it's a VHS or something like
a
that.
lot of
what
like analog horror is kind of like there it I feel like, and this is the one like bridge I can't get over because like it seems like once you accept this you can like it more, but it kind of asks too much from you. Like it kind of wants you like to be like, oh yeah, this is totally a real ass VHS and not like
right.
someone cobbled scary black and white images on like a video editor and then they slapped a VHS filter over
Well,
it.
well, that reminds me of like r/creepypasta, where the rule is like you're not allowed to acknowledge that these stories are fiction. If you comment, you must pretend that this is real,
Low
and that
key,
you're yeah.
yeah, that's it's something like that where you have to like. But here's the thing: any good piece of media will convince you of that already. They don't like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. Isn't like a required like. Okay, you know when you watch a movie, you know that shit ain't real. You know, you watch
Yeah,
fucking Indiana
you
Jones
don't
and you're
need to
like,
like sign a waiver that's like you're not gonna talk about this movie like it was made. You're not gonna say that. All right,
You
yeah,
yeah,
mean
okay,
Lucy didn't actually happen?
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you watch fucking Limitless, and you're all like, oh well, I know that I know actor Bradley Cooper isn't really a guy with the brain drug and whatnot, you know,
Wait, wasn't
because
Limitless with Jake Gyllenhaal?
nah,
Well,
it was
that wasn't
Bradley Cooper.
okay.
But anyway,
I think I'm thinking
yeah, you,
Unlimited.
that is Jake Gyllenhaal, I think. Yeah,
Well,
they have very similar titles.
in this and the same premise too. It's also about brain genius pills.
Anyway.
Anyway,
You get so enamored watching Limitless or just any piece of media that you're like, you don't need to be told, hey, just reminder that pretend this is really happening. You don't have to be
Yeah.
told that because you're so enamored by the characters or the premise or
No,
whatnot.
I feel like if you have to like, yeah, like a really good piece of horror should scare you. You should get
Mm-hmm.
spooked reading it, even though you know it's fiction. It should just
Right.
fucking spook you.
I feel like all the good analog horror like goes I feel like you have to really go far and beyond to really make a very realistic VHS. Okay, do you remember the little what's it called Petscop, like the whole let's play of like this game
Yeah.
Yeah.
doesn't exist. It's that's like analog horror technically, right? It's
Yeah.
like oh this old
Yeah.
piece of media.
I watched not I watched Nightmare Masterclasses videos about Petscop. I never actually watched the Petscop videos.
They're
They get
very
kind of like
dry.
I think my problem is that a lot of analog horror, all the good analog horrors start out really well and then they just slowly kind of just get boring. I
Yeah,
think
the
that's
longer they try to, because they kind of succeed on like an initially intriguing sort of like what is this,
mhm,
and then maybe like with a twist that's like surprises you, and then they have to milk it if they want to make more of it. They have to squeeze as much intrigue out of that singular premise that hooked you in the first
mhm.
place. Yeah, I think
Right,
so.
exactly. And I think that was my problem with Mandela catalogs. As it kept on going, it was like, okay, well, uh, all right, I spooky stuff, I guess. Sometimes it doesn't help that sometimes they use like images from like other like things, and you're it's like, okay, I've seen that like picture memed 2,000 times. So seeing this in like a serious context just doesn't work for me, right?
What what it's not about, it's about like creepypasta, but like what really kills it for me, when I've read a couple of them, it's not that like, uh it's just when like the tone of the way someone is writing, some people just write in a tone that is just not how a person would genuinely relate something that happened to them. And when they're supposed to be writing in first person, and you the reader are supposed to maintain a kayfabe that I believe this poster is not lying, this is not fiction, they're telling me a thing that really happened, but then they write in a very artificial way, it's like it completely destroys it. There's no point. That can't even respect the attempt when
Right,
that crops up.
I think
right,
that's why for a lot of people who champion the bad stuff, analog is entirely just the hook is the aesthetic
A
because they're
bad
looking at it from like, oh, the only technology that I've ever known is an iPhone. This is crazy to me.
a bad writer doesn't know that like the way that they're writing is just very fake. They think they're writing in a natural way, but they can't see themselves. They don't understand. Their taste isn't there yet.
I think I think a lot of like bad writers or bad creatives like they could get away with it as long as they continue to be like sincere about it, you know.
To a certain
Um
extent, yeah.
Is
yeah,
that Tim Burton's excuse?
maybe. I don't know.
He sincerely believes the things he
He
believes.
sincerely believes he's a fake. He's a fake. He's a fraud. He cheated on his goth wife with a blonde woman. Ill.
Mhm,
That's crazy.
mhm.
He's not real. He ain't about it. Okay, now I remember. There's a piece of analog horror that I thought was really good. It was a Local 58. That one's pretty good, and
I
like
feel like I might have seen that one.
that one's really good because it goes far and beyond to like come off as convincing as possible. And I think that's what
Mhm.
like and but here's the thing. What happens is that like 14-year-olds watch Local 58 and they're all like, "Oh, this looks easy. You just grab a bunch of like public domain footage from archive.org, right, and you slap it together and it's like no, that's a little bit more than that because
Yeah.
like the creator of Local 58 like grew up during that era. He has a little bit more context, but now it's like a rehash of a rehash and you're like you don't get what makes something like Local 58 come off as authentic, you know?
I have seen The Imitators, but I haven't seen Local 58.
Yeah. So I think the majority of analog horror is shit and because it just asks too much from you. All the bad ones ask too much from you. Like they really
Mm.
like please excuse that this was obviously made by a 14
Yeah.
year old, right? Like, you know, they're trying to be scary. if you just pretend long enough, you'll find this scary too. And I'm like, yeah, I bet I would find it scary if I was pretending, but I'm not gonna give you
Yeah,
that.
if I pretended that it seemed authentic or seemed like anything that could ever exist or that it would have been done in this way. Yeah,
Hmm.
sure.
Right, exactly. In other pieces of work, you can overlook when things are not that accurate because you're so enamored by everything else. But in this, it's like I'm not too enamored at all, really. And that was okay. And now that we're through the fucking explanation, now we caught up Ben up to speed on fucking analog horror.
Yeah, excuse me,
My,
but I
it's
think I
whatever.
understand
I,
it.
I think enough people were like would have want to know too. But
I've heard the
basically,
term, I just didn't know exactly what it referred to, but I get it.
I was introduced to an analog horror series. My partner found out about this when I heard about it, and I didn't look into it because it sounded like this could be cool, but I don't really like analog horror, so I'm not gonna look for it. And the series was basically like an analog horror about like Godzilla.
Hmm.
And the premise is that like, oh, in the original Godzilla movie, the actor who played him in the suit, they never knew his name, and he never got left the suit, and they filmed the whole movie without him never getting out of the suit. And it turned out that his like inside of his body fused with the suit, and he like his body just reshaped into Godzilla. And it's like,
Oh,
oh, we have this monster now, and they just kept making Godzilla movies with him, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. This is so dumb. I was out. I think we watched all of them. I didn't want to watch all of them, but we watched all of them because my partner was so like entertained by my complaints because like at not trying to brag, but I'm a pretty big Godzilla fan, and I'm pretty well versed on like the behind the scenes of what it takes to make one of those movies. So like when someone is trying to make a horror story about like that topic, like it's it feels like, and I'm not, maybe this person did do all the research, but it feels like they didn't, you know, like
mm.
because this is not what would happen. The moment they know the guy wouldn't leave the suit, they would assume he's dead or he's suffocating, so they would try to get him out of there. They knew something would be wrong. I just
Yeah.
it's asking, they're asking too much of me when they say that like, oh,
Yeah.
the company realized that he is like stuck in the suit as a monster man, and they kept making movies with him anyway. That's so fucking
It's very
stupid.
Hollywood exec discovers video game development, knows nothing about video game development.
It's
Right.
if something is wrong, it can be okay, especially if it's something that like you would know is wrong, like if it's about some field or job that like the average audience member isn't going to have intimate knowledge with. But yeah,
Like
if it's just like people don't act that way, then it's like you've kind of you're just left with like this just doesn't this work doesn't make any sense.
like
I
if I
recall
were
those YouTube videos where they have like a person in a professional field who reacts to the incorrect media depiction of their field. You could do a version of that, but for like the Godzilla thing.
I
Like
What was
Godzilla
I
expert
could.
dissects the Godzilla analog horror.
wasn't there an A Collier Astro video about that, about how like getting mad about getting mad about people portraying your field wrong.
It's like, were they saying it was stupid?
No,
I'm not familiar with
there's a
that
name
person.
for it. I think it's the reverse Stunning Kruger effect.
Reverse stunning. That's interesting. I've never heard of
Uh,
this.
no. Ah, geez. There's a name for the feeling when like it's like a form of hypocrisy where like someone who's an expert on a subject will read a news story, and the news story will report on this thing they're an expert in, and they'll be like, "This is completely wrong. They got everything about the story wrong. This is a hack." Geez. Oh well. And then they'll move on and they'll go and they'll read the rest of the newspaper and not think to themselves, "What if they're wrong about all these things actually?" Which they, they're just as likely to be.
Right.
It just bothers you more when it's a thing. There's a name. There's a name for this thing, and I can't think of the thing. There's this thing
I
I'm
think
describing.
Oh, this lady.
that's
She just happened. She just happened to make a video that discussed this phenomenon. I'm trying to remember the name of.
I think that's really interesting that she coined the phrase for it too, because I was coming to
She
compare.
didn't
There's
coin
like
the
a
phrase.
okay, well, never.
So
Okay, fuck her then. Kill
yeah.
her. But
Let's not give her too much credit.
all right, let's not give her too much credit. She is a woman. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Okay, okay,
Ben, why would you
okay.
say that? Why would you say
Yeah,
those
that was pretty
things,
fucked
Ben?
up.
But anyway, I was gonna compare it to there's a video called Jazz Student Reviews like Whiplash because
I
that's
just
the
read
whole movie of
Gelman amnesia. The term
Gel
is
Mom.
Gelman, and you forget that the news is wrong. You forget that something's wrong about things you're an expert in, and assume it's right about things you don't know anything about. That's it. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Gotta check that one out.
Okay,
I
so
like
there's a
Michio
video.
Kaku.
There's a video that's really good called Jazz Student Reviews Whiplash, where like because the movie is about a jazz student, and he says like this movie like what's happening in Whiplash doesn't happen in real life. Like a teacher would never be this serious about this sort of thing because it's not necessary to be serious about this topic, right? And
Mm.
the director like the most he knows about jazz is from high school, and he's trying to write a story about like going to like a jazz academy. So the director admits he has
Mm.
very limited knowledge. The movie is like still good, but like it's you'll like it more if you knew nothing about jazz because like
Mm.
they're not doing jazz in that movie. What they're doing is like a sport. They just call it jazz, right? Like it's made up, it's
Right.
fictional, right? And
Like
Yeah.
a drum line.
I haven't seen Whiplash, but although people keep telling me to watch it,
oh, it's good. Um
I'm gonna
but
watch it one of these days.
it's good, but it's like the perfect movie for like people to get the wrong lesson out of.
Mm.
It's like beautiful in that way almost. Um that being said, yeah, so and it's kind of like this is what's happening to me while I watch this Godzilla analog horror. Like this wouldn't happen. Um, like there's a whole section where like we hear a character talk about like what's gonna happen, and like about mutations, and it really does sound like they're pulling this shit out of their ass. It's not realistic. They start speaking English for some fucking reason, even though it's supposed to be in Japan. Um, there's like a part where they have, I guess, kind of like images that there's a couple of like AI generated images in the analog horror.
Oh,
Um, but
game over.
there's like a part where it's kind of like, oh, the guy in the suit escaped and he got spotted out on the road, and here's a photo. And the photo is like, wow, this looks like a street in fucking America, dude. They're driving on the wrong side of the fucking road. They don't drive on the right side, idiot. It's like a bunch of just fucking details like that. And it's like I cannot. And everyone's saying like, oh, this is a really good analog horror. Yeah, it's really good if you're stupid,
I
if you're a
could see
fucking
myself
idiot.
not noticing. I could see myself not noticing that detail. To be
It's
honest.
like that's like a nitpick. That's like a cinema sin. But I think I have
Yeah.
enough problems with everything else. It like kind of just bundles together, you know. Um,
Well, it sounds like it's. I mean, it sounds like this. The kind of people, most of the people that are making this kind of stuff are very amateur, and
mhm.
so, you have basically to enjoy the genre at all outside of maybe like the best examples of it. You just have to have low standards, because there's just not. Because
that
not just not enough of it is good.
that's what I feel like about like I guess like almost any genre that could be like true. That's kind of like how I felt out
Yeah.
of being like a horror movie fan because like most of horror movies are just garbage, right?
Yeah. At least
And
what are these
what
90% of everything is crap. I forget what the name for that rule is, but
that's so true, right?
yeah.
Like what I just realized is that like it's not that I'm a horror movie fan, it's just that I'm a fan of the horror
You like
movies that I
you
like,
like
right?
good movie. You like good movies,
Yeah, you're just a fan of good movies, right? You're
right?
not like a horror movie fan, right? I was gonna bring up that like there are special cases where suspension of disbelief is like extended because other things are prioritized, you know. And I think the perfect example would be like the first like Five Nights at Freddy's and the whole concept of like magnetic doors. Like, oh, this door takes up power by being closed, which is like a stupid concept in real life. It's so
Yeah,
like unrealistic and dumb. They didn't even do it in the live action movie, right?
yeah,
But
but
but in the
it
game
fits
it
in the game.
works. Yeah, in the game it works because it's prioritizing gameplay overall, right? So you overlook that and you get
Hmm.
enamored by everything else, right? But in this
Yeah.
case, like it just doesn't like I cannot suspend my suspension of disbelief. Like I feel like you potentially make like a good horror analog horror about Godzilla and the guy being trapped in the suit. But there's like certain ways to do it, and like I was talking to my because me and my partner are working on a story that's basically it's gonna be our take on like a mascot horror game, right? And
Uh-huh.
it's basically like Five Nights at Freddy's, but they're like Muppets instead, right?
Sure.
But
Why
yeah,
not?
I promise you, it's pretty good. We've the ending is pretty badass, and I think people will like it. So we're like fleshing that out, and I was telling them about how like everything that's Muppet related, I want it to be as accurate to like actual puppeteering, right?
Hmm.
Because I want
Do
I
you
I
know much about puppeteering?
I I'm well enough about like Jim Henson and how they do it. You know, I've
Okay.
seen the behind the scene pictures.
Sure.
I've seen that stuff. I watched the Funkland video. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware. Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
You see
So I
that new
wanted.
Defunctland?
Oh, did he drop a new one?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh no.
Because it's not,
Oh
it's not a
no.
real, it's not a real Defunctland video. It's like a
Oh,
montage. It's like pointless.
is the Funkland in their flop era now? Is this the
No,
beginning?
I think they got a little too artsy. They had a vision for a different, completely different style of video that was just a little artsy, and they were like, I'm gonna do it, and it's just not what you want to see.
Because
Sounds like something that should have been a, Nebula exclusive.
Yeah, so it's something that you should have put on your second channel. Yeah, Nebula exclusive. Absolutely, absolutely, it should have been a Nebula exclusive. That's
oh
exactly right.
no.
So
Oh
that I would
no.
never have to see it because I will never
Yeah.
ever sign up for Nebula.
Every time a YouTuber is like, you can see more of this on Nebula, it's like, nope, not gonna watch it.
Oh, I
Nope.
hate that. I resent that. Genuinely resent it even more than like
Weird.
Raid Shadow Legends,
Uh,
NordVPN.
Eventually, I'm gonna get Nebula because my queen, Lindsay Ellis, resides there, and I need to join her as her faithful knight.
Many,
Um,
many such
I have the
cases.
same stipulation, but for ContraPoints.
that being said though, I am aware of the evils of the Nebula cartel and
Thank you.
their
Good.
power
Yeah,
that they bestow,
they,
trying
they're
to
like
this.
a they're like an octopus spreading their tentacles across the globe.
Right, exactly.
Or like a cult. You notice how everyone says, my streaming service? Why
Because
do
Yes,
they say that?
it's
What's up
worker
with that?
cooperative.
I think it's because it's a worker cooperative. Everybody is a quote unquote partial owner. I think
Oh,
that's
that
the
makes
deal
more
with that.
sense.
Like a legal eagle said that, and I assumed he meant it like it was true because like he's a rich guy. He might have been like a founder. No, I think it's just that everybody is like told to say that. It's our service, guys. The
It's
creators that you
our
love, the
service.
creators that make the content you love are part
It's
owners. It's their
it's
company.
our wife, Ben. Okay,
They
so
they do though. I've noticed they say it's my streaming service, and I hate that. You're fucking lying to me. Stop
oh,
lying.
I hate that shift. Why do I need to share my wife? Why do we all need to say my our wife? Why can't I just have her? Why do I want to share her?
You can't have your wife and eat her too, cheesy.
uh,
The bourgeois claim that we communists desire common property of women.
um,
Truly though, they delight in nothing more than the common ownership of one another's wives. They're the real perverts, not me. I'm normal. Anyway,
okay. I was
fuck
talking
Nebula. Okay, let's go.
I was talking about the Muppets. So I
Right.
was telling my partner that I want this horror story. I don't just want like regular people to enjoy this horror story. I want it to be that if you're a fan of the Muppets and you're well versed in like how that all works, you too could also enjoy it. Like you're not gonna be like, that's not how that works. Like you're not gonna be taken out from like any unrealistic bits, you know? You're gonna be like, oh yeah, they did their research. And if you know about the behind the scenes stuff, you will appreciate this more, you know. And I really
Mm,
like when a piece of media like does that. Like in the comics Kaiju Max, if you're aware of like kaijus, if you're aware about like tokusatsu, if you're aware about anime, you appreciate the comic way more because of it'll throw in the
It
stuff
makes
that's
references that you'll understand, and
it's
it'll.
like, oh god, there's this whole, oh god, Kaiju Max is so good. Watch my videos on Kaiju Max. I interview the creator a lot on this channel. That
Okay.
being said, the problem with this Godzilla analog horror is that, like, either like you're already an analog horror fan and you like excuse a lot of like just annoying shit about the genre so you can enjoy it. I can't see too many like kaiju or Godzilla fans enjoying this because like they're gonna like catch all this stuff and you're gonna be like, this isn't really that scary because I'm like so well versed in Godzilla, and you're not like using, you're not it like you could make an analog horror series where like you're fully aware of all the Godzilla knowledge and you use that to make it scarier. But this person's kind of
Mm.
like, I just hope people watching this don't know too much about Godzilla.
But
Um,
well, okay, not to not to play devil's advocate, but like if
get
you
out
re-
of my podcast.
if you require that the audience, be knowledgeable about a genre for them to fully appreciate it, you're kind of limiting your audience. That means that other,
You're
people that
right,
aren't
but
knowledgeable won't be able to get as into it.
you're right, and I'm not
And I know
advocating
there,
for
there's a
that.
way to do it where, like, if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, it's okay. It's not
Hmm.
alienating, and you won't miss anything important. It's
Hmm.
it's tough though. That's a very skillful line to walk.
Right, but like I mean, if you pull it off, it makes me much more like impressed,
For sure.
and
Yeah.
it just makes the work better. And like, yeah, I'm just saying it's like, and maybe the person who makes it is 14, and I think that's how like a lot of it this gets excused. These guys are obviously
Yeah.
young,
Right.
right, when they make this stuff,
But that
right,
means nothing to me, the audience.
right. I
There's
feel
no
like
excusing content that's just not
I'm
good.
I'm gonna say it. If you have the balls to post anything online, to post it publicly,
Yeah.
if you have the courage to do that, you should also have the cojones to take criticism about it. Like that's,
I mean, if you don't like the response, you can always delete your post, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I don't think they should delete this series, but it's just
I
kind of like I
wouldn't.
I don't know.
I mean, if they,
It's not for me,
yeah, if you, I
and
mean,
I
if you can't accept criticism, and you're not prepared for people to have something to say about your stuff, then yeah, you shouldn't be posting it
yeah, like
for sure.
I've made my case. Like this is like, yeah, this is why I don't like this. I
I think it's
wish
because
it was
in a
better.
big genre, like in just horror movies in general, there's like millions of horror movies. So even though
Hmm.
most of them are bad, there's lots of good ones. But in
Hmm.
something
Right.
that is kind of like a burgeoning subgenre, like analog horror, it's kind of newish, and it's like a
Hmm.
lot of kids jumping on it and trying to do it themselves, and like the number of people making it is small, and the time it's existed is small, so there's just not that much of it. So there's not
Hmm.
much good of it either. So you're just left with whatever anyone happens to be making, and if you're really into it, maybe you can look past the fact that most of it is not very good.
Hmm.
What'll
Yeah.
probably happen is that some other kid will watch that and then realize, oh, I could do that. But then that kid will make the good version of that.
Well, I
Hmm.
mean, that's what you hope will happen
I
if
mean,
you like this stuff.
there's kids who do that all the time. Like the kid who did that one Backrooms like short film. Um, a lot of it is due to the fact that that kid was like well off, and
Mm,
so he has a lot of advantages other kids don't have. Where like
yeah.
sure you could
Like a
pirate a lot of
computer
these
that can actually
programs,
render an
but
After Effects layer.
hmm like sure you could like pirate a lot of programs, but that's like a lot. That's a lot of effort for a lot of kids nowadays,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and if you're like well off, you could just afford a lot of it already, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
If,
that's
if your
that's
parents just have it already.
exactly. That's what grind my gears recently. That's Godzilla analog horror.
Mm,
Not a fan, folks. Not a fan.
I've never
We
seen it.
never
I
seen
haven't
it.
seen
Don't
any of
have an
it.
opinion.
This is all theoretical to me.
The new Godzilla movie came out, but I'm still broke. Because of the whole car catching on fire, a bunch of other things too. That same week, like the next day after my car caught on fire, I caught the flu, so I was just
Uh,
bedridden for
you
like
didn't get
just
the
a
flu shot?
No, I didn't get the flu shot.
You
No,
gotta
I
get your
did.
flu shot when you get your COVID vax.
It's no. There's nanomachines in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
want to
know.
control
There's
me.
nanomachines that fight off the flu. They give you many other benefits as well.
There's nanomachines that make me vote for Biden in there, and I'm
Yeah,
not gonna do
yeah,
that,
yeah,
Ben.
yeah. They just make you wicked cool. The nanomachines that make you cool in every imaginable way. What's your point? What's the problem? You thought
the, the vaccines make you liberal. They make you a fucking Democrat. That's
I'm
why they're
adding this to
fucking.
the pitch Bible for my Ozzy and Drix reboot.
these nanomachines, they're gonna give you empathy for your fellow man. They're gonna make you more compassionate. They're gonna make you realize that the people of Gaza just have every right to live. They're gonna make you cry. They're gonna make you cry in movie theaters. They're gonna make you vote for Joe Biden, and you're not gonna get sick. It's beautiful.
That's a fair trade. You get not sick. I get vote for Biden. It sounds like a fair trade to me, Mister. um. Okay. What else? What have you been up to, Ben?
I'm just working
Give
on my
us.
stupid video. Just working on the worst video of all time.
Yeah, you're gonna do a lecture about Sinfest, right? You're gonna recount every comic of Sinfest.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
trying
that
to
would be interesting.
find a.
I don't think that guy could handle having a big spotlight on him.
I mean, he's somewhat popular.
He dropped the new.
Someone must be popular with someone.
Did you see like his new comic? It had like ghost skeletons possessing people. I don't know what was like the message. Like I don't know what he was trying to fucking say.
Are they all political now? Like the only one I ever see of
Yeah.
him are his new ones about how like woke teachers need to be sent to the gas chambers or whatever.
You hardly ever see any of the original characters. Like, I don't think Slick even exists. There's
Yeah,
probably a
Slick
panel
does. Where
somewhere
the
where they
fuck is
shot him to
Slick?
death.
Where the fuck is Slick? Why did they kill Slick?
I don't know who that is.
Slick was like the little main character at the start of the series, who was this kind of like Johnny Bravo-esque like little guy, and he's like, oh, I want to fuck. Oh, I'm actually a bass guy who fucks and sucks, but he's a little loser. I mean, if you look up Zinfest, it's like the first image that shows up. These guys used to be like the main trio of characters, and then
Yeah.
and
Yes. Okay, I've seen these
And they
guys.
had
Yeah,
adventures with the devil, and God was an ironic asshole.
but and then he became an SJW during Gamergate.
I did see a semi-recent one that had the pig in it. The one where the pig drinks the alpha juice and it makes him a Chad.
Yeah, I remember that. He drinks the
That
alpha
was a
juice.
classic. Yeah, I don't really understand what's going on in this skeleton one. Is the skeleton trying to make him not attracted to women?
The skeleton is a homosexual skeleton.
What is the symbol on his hand? I don't.
Who's this woman? Yeah, he's been doing a lot of
it's
skeletons.
the Heart Pirates. Oh, it's the Heart Pirates. This guy's a One Piece fan.
Nice. Oh, well, now I don't hate him.
Why is the skeleton drawn to look like a sperm?
Is there more context? Is this part of like an ongoing story? Because yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
There's like okay, I'm going back and I'm seeing like it's Joe Biden and he's got a ghoulish half face and there's like the pedo bear background behind him. Like, damn, talk about a reference.
Oh no.
And then like the skeletons I think are supposed to resemble Secret Service members. Because they have the little like the earpiece, right?
I mean, this skeleton is trying to make this guy not. Wait, the guy looks like hypnotized by this.
Yeah, in this particular strip, he wants the guy to purchase the pornographic lady, and then I guess this other lady.
He's trying to make him hit the button to buy the sex doll or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Joe Biden is sending out ghost skeletons that are like Secret Service members that make you want to buy sex dolls. He's also a pedophile.
Yeah,
this is like well. I mean, I'll say it, this is like well done gibberish almost.
Yeah, it's like this was made by an AI. It doesn't necessarily look like it. I mean, maybe, but like it's like that in the like it's not saying anything. Like it's just images, and like something is happening, but there's no like point to it.
I
I
think
wonder if I were to go to the actual web page, would he have something in the description
uh,
notes
he
that
he
actually contextualizes
he
everything?
doesn't actually. He used to have like a little comment section, but not anymore. Oh, he's got a
I know a
forum,
lot
but
of
it's so
webcomics
active.
people would do that, where if you go to the comic and hover over the comic, a little bubble would come up and it would be like, this is what this is actually saying.
Okay, shot in the dark. Does this have something to do with No Nut November? Is he like mad that the United States government doesn't formally endorse No Nut November, and he thinks that they're promoting pornography or something like that? Like that's my best
Oh,
guess.
maybe.
He's pro Palestine. He did make a comic it look like where it's like, oh no, the people in Palestine are like suffering, their families are dying, but here in the West, the Palestinians that we get propaganda as a bad guy, and there's this Jewish Superman, and he's here to save the day. It's
Well, I mean, I guess the worst person you know, et cetera, et cetera.
a broken clock is right.
Right.
Well, he only hates Israel because he's anti-Semitic himself. Like
Oh my god.
Oh damn. Oh wait, is he that far? Is he that far right?
he has put like little things in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
All right.
these
Yeah.
forums are not active at all. I'm like siphoning through. Does anyone get the joke?
Oh, the
Seems like
joke is porn. I don't think this is trying to be funny.
porn's bad. All right.
Porn is bad.
It kind of stopped being funny a long time ago when they added lore to the devil character.
He's been making comics since the 2000. I'm gonna go back to the original, the old one, the first one that came out in January 17th. The classic. This is so crazy. It's like looking at the first chapter of a manga and comparing it to the last one. Because it's like anything you want.
Oh,
Oh, what the
this
hell?
looks like he wanted to be Bill Watterson so bad.
Right, but he took the blue pill, then the red pill.
Uh,
His SJW to turf to like fucking Nazi pipeline is crazy that he like went on.
yeah,
The
yeah.
funny thing about this guy is that it is a big part of his lore that he was a professional comic artist and then he was dismissed for tracing or something.
What was he?
Hmm.
Was he?
Yeah, this was like long before Sinfest.
Huh. Interesting. I did not know that.
I mean,
And it's
the
like,
man can
was that
draw.
where he started to go wrong?
Damn
But
girl, you
then
weren't lying. That man can draw. He I don't know. People like I don't think there's much known about him really. People would say that he might have had like a feminist girlfriend or something because he would do some comics about like having trouble with women, yada yada. He would like both sides things like kind of at the start. Maybe he used to be like a Jon Stewart fan back in the day. Um, it's the crazy ass pivots people fucking take on where they are like politically, right?
he does post on what's it called?
Gab,
Spinster.
spinster.
Yeah. The
Oh
So
man.
feminist
it's
offshoot
so
of
fucked up.
Gab.
It's fucked up that this one about Palestine is like exactly right. How did he fucking manage to be this right?
Dude,
But he's so fucked. Oh man.
this almost feels like two comics, like he combined two. But actually, I mean, the
Mm.
whole like God, that's the thing. He's not that bad. He's just because like the one panel of like the dad like screaming in the air, grieving, the perfect cut to the his silhouette perfectly in the shape of like the
Yeah.
Palestine the Israel propaganda in the next panel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little Jewish boy like watching it, right? It's so like yeah, like that's like well, like he knows what he's doing, but it's kind of like I don't know, like it's almost like that. I feel like you want to be the perfect like right wing propagandist. You got to be like a stone toss where it's like short and sweet. It's to the
Short,
point.
yeah, short and sweet, and you have to have plausible deniability, and people have to be able to appreciate it on like a non-political level. They have to be able to
Right.
see it and just be like, haha, funny, and not even like without even thinking about what it's actually saying.
Yeah,
Like the one where the punchline is like, "But how will this help us sell more burgers?" And the guy's like, "Burgers?"
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
That one's
I'm sure that's
that
a
one's
stolen joke, but it still works, and he like
it's
gets away with using it
it's
because it's
it's a
that good.
it's a great piece of propaganda because you can read it, and if you don't know what it's saying, you can be like, haha, the man is stupid and stupidity is funny. I
Yeah.
laughed at this joke and I'll share it on my
I
Facebook.
love stupidity. I love it when people are stupid. It's super funny.
True.
Oh
True.
my god. Damn.
Um,
I jumped like 10 years into these comics, and it's like he kind of like once he started adding color and making them all big is like
was the
it became the
downfall.
worst. Yeah, exactly. Like evidence, you don't need to add color. It's okay.
It's funny, I mean, many such cases, but it's funny how just how on the nose, like, this is just built. He was just trying to do Calvin and Hobbes. This was just his own version of Calvin and Hobbes
Mm-hmm. What
with
if you
like
count?
maybe a little bit more of like a political bent to it in the beginning.
It'd be funny.
Well, yeah, because webcomics had to be edgy back then.
Yeah.
And like that was like fine like for the time. I just Jesus.
Everybody starts out aping their fave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a thing
Exactly.
I saw on Twitter about that. Someone was like, "Oh, this is the common trend. Uh, draws fan art of Nega Cosmo,"
I saw
and
that
then
exact
500
tweet.
posts later, "Oh, my vampire OC, his name is
Yeah.
Kaz."
It's really it's the exact same character. You've just been drawing them for 2 years, and you've blown them up and made them a sexy man. And
That's
I think I've witnessed something like that before. Just like you're
Yeah,
a character that's like, okay, I mean, this is I mean, you 50 Shades of Greyed it from from Twilight. You took Edward
that's a good
Cullen.
example.
Yeah, you took Edward Cullen and you made your own Edward Cullen with blackjack and hookers.
fucking I like I guess there's a buddy of mine. I forget their name. Wow, I
Ben
just
Saint.
Ben. Yeah, there's a buddy of mine named Ben Sane, and
Mm-hmm.
he fucking loved Nami from One Piece. He made up his own
Mm-hmm.
original red hair girl pirate character called Lami, and he's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
she's epic
Mm-hmm.
and base, and her titties are huge, and she lets me suck
Wow.
on them,
Wow, sounds
and
like a cool guy.
and she lets me motorboat her butt cheeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. She would do that, I
And
think.
here's 20 chapters of her story.
Send me the link. Send me the link.
No, Ben, you drew it. You drew 20 chapters of this.
Fuck.
I am secretly, unironically trying to do that with Pearl from Steven Universe.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
hoping nobody will notice.
I love that it's like, hey, I made up this weird guy, Julian. I really kind of want to be that weird guy. I kind of made it my mission to become that exact weird guy you described right now.
No, unironically, like, because since there's nothing new under the sun, everybody just does, like, hey, this is my version of that thing I like, but like better, and I like this my version even more, and that's what everybody does.
That's what created Star Wars.
That's kind of like the secret sauce. That's kind of like it's kind of like the angle I'm going to try to go with this next coming year, and I think I mentioned it earlier. I'm making a I know I said don't make an indie pilot, but I think I'm gonna make an indie pilot next year.
No, dude, no. You've been saying why?
No,
Why would you do that?
no.
You know why not? You know the reasons why you shouldn't do that.
No, you fool! You idiot! No! Ah!
This is so sad. What a fall from grace. Like, you
Wait a minute. I subscribed to your do not make a pilot newsletter, and now you're telling me you're gonna make a pilot? What did I subscribe for?
Cheesy, you said you would say you would be a meth addict until the day you died. And you're telling me you're going sober now? What about all your pro meth podcast episodes, huh? What about them?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with an animated pilot? It's gonna take you like 3 years to make it. First of all.
Better start now.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
so.
No, I think I've mentioned this. I mentioned it to you before, like on private conversations. But
Oh, I think that's true. Yeah.
yeah, I had this one idea, and I think what makes me compelled to do it is that I mean, aside from it being like I think this is a very funny idea, it's pretty feasible because it won't be like I'm not gonna do like something. I don't want to say I don't want to say it's not fully animated, but the animation is going to be limited on purpose because it's like supposed to be like a parody of it's a parody of the Legion of Doom characters, specifically from like the Super Friends, the old Super Friend
Mhm.
cartoons. And the idea was that like it's kind of like the show. It's kind of like Space Ghost or like Sea Lab, where they used the old footage. They would just reuse that footage and they just add new voices to it, right? And
Uh-huh.
the idea was to like, oh, you make a bunch of like, I mean, you write down the episode, you know what kind of clips you have to make, and just make clips that are designed specifically to be reused constantly in other episodes. So the more episodes you make, the less kind of like original animation you have to make, right? Because you just reuse like previous clips, right? And most of
Yeah.
it is just gonna be characters like talking, right? And I was gonna call it right now. The working title is Doom Proxy. Although I really like that title. I think it's pretty good.
Mm.
Um, and it's just basically like these parody characters of like the Legion of Doom and all the kind of like very niche, stupid conversations that would happen in between everything else, you know. And the
Yeah.
episodes wouldn't be long; they'd just be like 11 minutes, right?
Mhm.
And I think it'd be feasible. It'll all be like limited. I'm not gonna do anything too fucking complicated. I'm gonna try to figure out a way that I can like work with other people on this, where it's like, oh, we just have a bunch of assets we just constantly reuse, and it's
I
not
mean,
that
that's a pretty good I do like that. I think that's a pretty cool way to approach it. Makes it a lot more manageable. Yeah. All right.
right. Yeah, exactly. And I think what I would want to do, and like, this is like the gambling part is like you make the first episode and then you just wait on like what the reception is gonna be, right? And if we get like really good reception, we either probably just make a second episode or try to like either have some sort of like fund raiser or something, you know, like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo to fund like a whole season of it. And I think it could be possible to get someone else to like pay for half of the season to be made. I
Mm,
think that could be like feasible. It seems like more people are interested in like funding in the animation stuff, and I feel like if I could make it like I guess financially viable, you know, like oh this isn't that too complex and it isn't like hard to get into, right? Because it's like oh it's just a show about supervillains act just saying the stupidest shit ever, right? Like that's not hard to get, you know?
Which everyone loves. They
Yeah,
just don't know it yet.
exactly. Yeah, and
I've
mhm.
seen the numbers on those Lex Luthor compilation
yeah,
videos.
exactly. I stole the idea from a guy called Ace Vane who just reuses like Super Friend clips and he makes them super funny. The only difference is that none of my characters will say the N word. He could say it because he's black. Um, my characters can't, but I mean,
My
well,
characters aren't black.
my characters are all my characters are white and or Latina. It's the only characters I make. Nah, some of these guys are gonna be black. It's gonna be fine. That being said, yeah, and I'm mostly kind of trying to go in this direction because I've been kind of like after the Silver Sprocket rejection, I've been kind of like just thinking about okay, well, where do I go from here? Because it's not like I'm out of ideas, you know. Like I have ideas, and I do think a lot of them are very feasible. But like, I don't know. It's like, damn, like what could be the thing, you know? What could be the thing that makes me money, you know? And any of these ideas could be it, but like nothing like pulls me in. And I'm thinking like maybe I should try something different. Maybe I should go back to animation because I used to do that a
Is
lot when I
there
was younger.
Is there money in it?
I actually don't know. There might not be that much money actually, but it could
I
lead
mean,
to
there's money
something.
in merchandising, and if something is popular enough, there's a vehicle for merchandising in it.
Like someone like Senor Pello is making money. I don't know if I could make like I don't know if I could make like Digital Circus amount of money or like Hell of a Boss amount of money, but like
I mean,
Or
no, nobody
Deltarune
can.
money.
Nobody can make that amount of money. That's
mhm.
like two people.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think it's different enough from my usual stuff that I think it's worthwhile. I mean, we'll
I
see. I'm
think
not gonna stop making comics. I'm gonna keep making comics. I am probably gonna decide on making another like one shot
I think
style
I think
comic, like Mick
I think
Pagliacci.
I think limited animation is a good avenue to
Hmm.
explore. I think that sounds pretty cool.
Hmm.
And it's definitely worth pursuing because um, if you've submitted to a lot of places and they're rejecting you, even though your stuff is good, it's like, well, maybe I just have to create my own platform.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like this could be
Like,
the
what do they have other than
vehicle.
money and viewership? You can get viewership.
Yeah, like this could be the vehicle for another thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, it's a yeah, it's tough, but I think because it's different, it's like worthwhile at least, and I think the idea is good. Every time like I bring up the idea to people in chats, they start suggesting their own ideas, and I think that's a sign of a good idea if like people could
Mm,
like if people could hear the concept and then they already have an idea of what potentially could happen, like this is like
mm,
inspires you to come up with like what these characters could say, right? I was gonna say something.
possibly, yeah.
I was gonna say something, and I forgot. I opened up Twitter and I forgot what the fuck I was gonna pull up. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the move. Now I just need to like figure out what animation program I need to get back in the groove of,
Mm, mm.
right? I used to do a lot of stuff in Flash, but no one does anything in Flash now. I tried the Adobe anime and I really hate it. It's like so slow.
If you're looking for suggestions, my sister bought me Moho. It looks pretty interesting.
Is Moho popular? You see a lot of people using it.
I don't know about a lot of people, but they animated that what's that movie? It's like Irish or something, Song of the Sea
Oh,
in
Song of the
Oh,
Moho.
I know Song of the Sea.
Isn't Song of the Sea the Ghibli movie?
No,
No,
it's oh fuck, it's that Irish
what's that other
studio.
one?
Oh, it's that
Wolf
one
Children
oh
or
it's
Secret of
whatever.
Kells, and Secret of Kells is a
oh
better movie. Secret of Kells is
yes.
better than
Yeah,
Song of the Sea, but
I
it is
remember.
better.
Yeah, it's kind of like in that like Samurai Jack style. It almost looks like
I, I thought the characters did look a bit like Kim Possible, like they jumped off Kim Possible, but
hmm
it's still a good looking movie.
yeah, it's that oh my god, yeah, Gendy Tartakovsky looking Steven
A little bit,
Silver. Steven Silver is
yeah.
the guy who's like art stylist for Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom and like
No, that's
every
Butch Hartman.
no, that's not Butch Hartman.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what Bush Hartman wants you to believe.
And he wants you to
Uh
think he draws like that. That motherfucker don't draw like that.
oh, really? He didn't like come up with the character designs?
He only came up with the character designs, but like the art style is like Steven Silver.
Hmm, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Hmm. Definitely. Oh my god, I was gonna pull up something, but I fucking forgot. I did the thing where like you open up an app and you forget why you opened that app up. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna animate. That's the next arc, animation arc.
When's the Extra Souls books coming?
They're coming. I've been faced with several financial crises one after another, and it's been
Sure.
yeah. And I mean I don't think I don't I think I've made vague mention to it, but I did get fired from my previous job like last
You
month.
you
Spec
did. I think I did. You did tell me about that, or you said so.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah. I got fired. Then I spent the rest of the month looking for a new job. Got a new job. And I was like, oh boy, that was a pretty good new. I like this new job. I can't wait to go into the second week of my new job. Car caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Got the flu. We got a new car, but we got a new car pretty quick thanks to my family. But that now comes up with new financial stipulations.
I see.
Um, there's the books are coming. I swear the books are gonna come. I swear it's
I believe you that they'll come.
I I do have. I'm working on kind of like a not a plan B, but a kind of like solution for the people who just want the book right away. Like I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooking up a like I'm gonna probably send out like a mass email saying, hey, here's the current situation. I actually
Mm-hmm.
can get you the book now, but most likely it's not gonna have the bonus content. So if you just want the story itself, I could get you that.
Mm.
It's the bonus content I've been lagging on it, and
What's the bonus content?
it's all the kind of behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
and the twist being explained, and like because I wanted to like get I really did want to give people as much bang for their buck. I really went back to my old like movie files that I had of the Extra Soul short film, and I was putting like screenshots and like early concept art and stuff like that into it, and
I
like
mean, I read that the bonus description in the purchase page, whatever, and like I don't know, I wasn't expecting anything too extensive.
mm, I yeah, I just wanted to really like fill out those bonus pages for people. I really wanted to feel like, oh yeah, like I comprehend everything like leading up to the creation of this comic.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I am cooking on a new plan to get those books out faster for people.
All right. All right.
I just need to find financial stability. Um,
Yeah.
I swear I swerve,
That's I can appreciate that.
and if it never happens, you're allowed to come to my house and kill me. It's okay. I won't get
Yeah,
mad.
I think that's correct. I think that is what should and would happen. Yeah.
I think that's
I think that
Hang
the
that's
only
what the
on.
thing
law
that's
says.
like fair, you know.
I've read the
I
relevant
think
statute.
you should limit it to a ticket system. Otherwise, everyone is going to show up to kill you all at once, and only one person will get their opportunity.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
should
be
take turns killing you so everybody gets to do it.
it's gonna be like that bit in Airplane where everyone's in line to like slap that lady, and everyone has like a gun or like boxing gloves, but
Mm.
it's just me. It's me, and they're taking turns kicking me in the nuts, not knowing it's what turns me on, not knowing that this was part of the plan. Oh, you're gonna have to kick me in the nuts. Oh, don't kick my little nuts. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to get my little nuts kicked. Oh, oh, not my little nuts. Oh, not my little testicles, please.
That's right. That's correct.
Um. So Ben. Bionicles? Question mark.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you like
Oh
Bionicles?
God, yeah. What about them?
Do you like them?
Um, uh, some things about them I appreciate.
Some things I appreciate about
I
them.
appreciate I appreciate the big twists that they kept hidden for years and years, and they only revealed them when the time was right, and nobody saw it coming.
I
I
like Bionicle conceptually, but I don't appreciate things like, oh, the minutia of Coley as a sport. I'm like, I don't want to know that. Don't tell me.
I mean, what's wrong with what's wrong with Coley?
I just don't care. It's
Okay.
like, oh, they made Bionicle soccer. Okay. And then,
Um,
someone who's actually into it says, no, it's not like that. Let me explain it to
I mean,
you. And I just
it's
scream,
more like
no.
lacrosse. I mean, it was like soccer, but then of course, after Huki's successful defense at Gakoro against the Parok, it became a lot more like lacrosse, naturally. But I mean, sure, I understand.
And see, the fact that he knows that tells you that you are in
And
for
of
a
course,
real
neither
treat when the video
of them
comes
is
out.
Aquilini, which is more like ultimate frisbee. But I mean, they forgot how to do that when they were diminished in the spheres, as we all know. So
Can't even
get
tell
ready
if
for my
you're lying
12-hour
right
video where I
now.
say shit like that.
I like the bi-ness in Bionic.
Um, actually, everybody is asexual. Actually, everybody's asexual and aromantic,
Oh,
except
never mind.
sometimes when they're not. But then the author disavowed all the times that they weren't like that. He said they weren't real.
I love shit
Oh, that
like
was
that.
big of them.
I think
It was. It was.
I'm fine with like I think people need to really just go back and retcon like aliens like certain famous alien species that just have like a minority like specific gender type of like
Like Ridley Scott's Alien.
You want to know? You want to know the weirdest gender in Bionicle?
weirdest in my opinion all genders are weird.
There's a Toa of Sonics, and Toa of Sonics are always female. No, it's not Sonics. It's Psionics, like mental power.
Nice.
And Toa of Psionics are always female, but this one is male. And someone is like, "Why are you male?" And he's like, funny story. You see, I was the first Toa of Psionics ever created, and I was sent to do some shit with my psionic powers." With these creatures called the Zyglac, and I fucked it up so bad because I'm a man and I lack empathy. And the Zyglac were so fucked up by my mental fuckery that they became evil demons that live in the sea and hate God and the world and themselves. So ever since after that, they were like, okay, we fucked up by making this guy a man. All future Toa of Psionics must be female because it takes a woman's touch to influence people's minds in a helpful way. And that's the weirdest gender in Bionicle.
What the
Wow.
fuck? It's so like it's so funny how like oh yeah, here's this like out there absurd concept of these like alien species, but I'm just so enamored and stuck in gender binary. I do this
Yeah,
yeah, like get trapped and it's kind of like God, there is something about just like okay, just make all them women coded in fucking like Steven
these
Universe,
these these
like
guys are basically robots who are asexual and don't know love and they don't know affection of any kind. I mean, they can be friends, I guess, but that's about it. And yet they have a strict gender binary with very very clearly understood like tendencies and roles for some fucking reason. Everybody hears the story and they're like, "Yep, that makes sense. I get it."
that's so
Actually, no,
cool.
that's not true. He tells that story, and then a Toa of Lightning, who is a female, because all female, all I think Lightning might be split gender or it might be all female. But then this Lightning Toa like softs it and like starts shooting lightning bolts. And is like, yeah, because we know all females are all soft and cuddly, and it's like like a commentary on his own story.
Whoa, it's satire.
Interesting.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad that they did
Oh,
that.
gender.
Did
Whoa.
not expect that twist.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Actually, it's a bit unfair, not to mention that he does then immediately comment on it.
Damn, they should just make like a transformer. They're all men, but just make them all gay. Like, who cares? Like, they're all robot men. Who cares?
Isn't the comic kind of like that? Like there's a lot of
Yeah, there's like a lot of like that
Transformers.
yeah Transformers. There's a lot of like Transformers and like what would be considered homosexual relationships because they're all like masculine coded, right?
I looked into it and I found out that like not only are there multiple Transformers canon, but like it's several different universes basically.
Yeah.
Not only that, there basically is no Transformers universe. Like basically every incarnation of Transformers more or less takes place in its own universe where none of the other ones take place. Some of them just happen to be kind of similar to each other.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked and horrified.
How did they get away with that?
It's like they didn't even plan this at all.
Whoa, whoa, they didn't fucking plan this fucking epic franchise? What the fuck?
They didn't write out a story bible
Oh
planning
my
out the next
god.
30 years of the franchise before launching into a merchandising extravaganza.
They need to
What
put
have
me
I been spending all my money on?
put yet again Universal. You hear me out. Just make me the Kevin Feige of the Dark Universe. I'll do it. I'll do it for free,
Mm,
and that'd be
mm,
so
mm.
epic. People are gonna be like, "Whoa, MCU dethroned a new Chad Dark Universe
Honestly,
heads."
I would be all in for that.
I was I've been tempted to like make my complete video pitch on like what my Ghostbusters 3 would be now that they announced this other Ghostbusters movie, and it looks bad. The last Ghostbuster looked
Wait, they're
awful
making
too.
another Ghostbusters?
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Did the
I
last one do well?
I think it did decent enough,
Hmm.
and it was
This new one looks like The Day After Tomorrow, but with ghosts.
the ghost. There's a new frozen evil ghost, and he's like, "I'm gonna freeze New York City," and they're like,
Yeah.
"We gotta stop this guy before he freezes New York City."
Yeah,
And
they
it's
better.
like, and they take it super serious. Like, this is super serial, guys.
Hmm.
This ghost is spooky, and we
But
need
not
to.
too serious because Patton Oswalt is in it.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd's in it.
Personally, I would have cast David Cross.
I think those are both good. I think those are both good picks to play a Ghostbuster, frankly.
Right.
Oh, I don't think he's a Ghostbuster. I think he's just some guy, according to
Oh.
the trailer.
I got
Well.
You can't have a guy like that be a Ghostbuster. Ghostbusters are supposed to be badass.
That's not true. You know that's not true.
I know that's not true, but that's how people treat it.
Right.
Oh, the fucking proton pack is their fucking lightsaber.
What'll people think if they see our brand? It'll tarnish our brand if like our heroes are like schlubby and like fat dudes.
Even though
They
that
won't
has
think
been
they
the
won't think
thing for like
Ghostbusters are cool
all of the
anymore.
decades.
Damn.
Even in the comics, they were like just some guys.
Yeah.
You got
Just a couple of white dudes with some libertarian values.
Yeah.
fucking.
That's all it takes to make it in this world.
In my Ghostbusters, I was gonna do women Ghostbusters again, but like if the controversy happened in universe,
Mm.
and the mastermind behind it would have been the Bill Murray character. He would have been like the bad guy of the movie,
Mm.
because
Bankman would have been like, "Yes, I did it on purpose for the insurance."
well
He would have been the secret identity behind the in-universe analog of like a cat turd or something, just like posting about like how shitty and woke these new female Ghostbusters are. Ugh.
my thing that I was gonna do was that he's like he kind of like he is responsible for everything bad, but it's just out of laziness. Because
Mm.
it's like the opening of the movie would be like basically like a ecological disaster happens, but it's like ghost theme, like, oh, there's a
Sure.
giant that in New York is like 1/3 of it is trapped in the ghost dimension, and the ghost and Bill Murray is like, yeah, we could technically clean it up. That's gonna cost a lot of money. Let's just distract people people will like woke stuff. Let's make a woke Ghostbusters and they make woke ghosts. They make all girl Ghostbusters, and everyone hates them, but they're actually pretty decent at their job. And then the fucking ghost zone gets bigger, and they're like, oh, well, now we gotta really like focus in on that, right? And then Bill Murray's kind of like, okay, or um, actual plan. Let's just throw the women Ghostbuster under the bus, saying that they weren't successful, and we're gonna fire all of them, and that's gonna at least make some people happy, right? So they do
Definitely.
that, right? And it kind of works almost, but it's still like people are upset about the Ghost Zone. So they do like the nostalgia thing. They're like, okay, we're gonna bring back all the original Ghostbusters to handle this. And during this whole movie, Bill Murray has never like he's not even living in New York anymore. He lives in Florida. He has like a beach house, and he's been there the whole time. Like he has not moved. He's made all these decisions from this beach house, and it looks like Bill Murray is finally gonna have to leave and get on a helicopter to get there. But then he fakes a heart attack, so he stays there, right? And the nostalgic Ghostbusters, they can't do it. They're overwhelmed. They're gonna need the help of the female Ghostbusters. They need to rehire them, and also Ghostbusters from at this point, all these fucking Ghostbusters, they're like, all over the country, and all the other ones they show up to help, and they're like, we're here to help. Like a huge army of Ghostbusters, and they're all like, okay, but we're not gonna help until we fucking get unionized, and they're all like, ah, fuck. So it's like, well, really, they got no choice but to agree to the unionization, because if they don't, the world's gonna end, because the ghost zone. And then Bill Murray hears that they got unionized, and he gets so mad that he finally gets on the helicopter to New York,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then they,
Mm-hmm.
they all work together. The nostalgic Ghostbusters, the women Ghostbusters, and all the other Ghostbusters, they all come together and they help, and they stop the big threat, the big bad threat. They're like, we did it, guys. We saved the day. And then we see Bill Murray like show up in a helicopter, super mad, saying like, "What the fuck are you all doing? You're all fired." Right? But then like a stray ghost blast hits his helicopter and kills him. And then the
Mm-hmm.
movie ends with them honoring Bill Murray with a giant statue, saying like, he saved the city. He gave his life for the city. And the women Ghostbusters get little tiny medals, but and that's how the movie ends. They get their
I feel like
Ghostbusters
that
job.
would sell a lot, and you would get like critical acclaim status because libertarian people would watch that and not glean from it that the Venkman character is like a jerk.
hmm I just feel like it's like the next kind of like natural step to like how these characters acted in the previous movie. I really just can't
Yeah.
see like, yeah, none of the characters being sentimental about being Ghostbusters, because they didn't really give a fuck. That was the appeal. Bill Murray did not care about being a Ghostbuster. He was just like, oh,
Mm.
I just like making money and fucking bitches,
Yeah,
right?
I started a franchise.
Right, exactly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in the back of his mind that was always the plan to like just sell this off and like buy a beach house or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yep. Yeah.
You just do that. But no, you gotta like, no, because being a Ghostbuster is kind of like being a Jedi, actually. You know,
It's almost exactly like it, I think.
it's, yeah, it's one for one, actually. They're not too different. Because
All
there's
right, I'm glad we agree.
because
I'm
there's
glad you
like,
When
I'm
you
glad
become a
you understand the
Ghostbuster, you make a
movie.
vow of celibacy. It's true.
yeah, there's Ghostbusters on the light side, and there's Ghostbusters on the dark side.
Ghostbusters on the dark side actually bring ghosts, take ghosts out of the power pack or whatever it's
They
called.
got like cannons that shoot ghosts.
They shoot electron beams. Yeah,
Mm,
because it's the opposite of proton beams.
hell yeah.
That actually could be an interesting angle because you could bring back the environmentalist characters and they could like protest the Dark Ghostbusters, saying that it's unethical to weaponize ghosts to fight ghosts.
We
So
use
it's a ghost war crime.
we
Yeah.
use a ghost to battle the ghosts. What the fuck?
If you want to beat the ghost, you must become the ghost.
And
You
they
must
kill
now
themselves.
take this gun. Yeah.
To learn
Are
the
you
ways
are
of
you
the
sure this are
ghost.
you sure this will increase our profit margins? Oh yeah, totally. We're gonna be rolling in it.
God, I fucking hate Ghostbusters.
Mm.
I
You
fucking
know,
hate Ghostbusters.
I actually don't know if I've ever watched. I think I've probably watched the first movie. I may have watched the second one at some point when I was a kid, but I like barely remember.
I am always shocked when I watch the first one, but I remember the second one very vividly.
I like the first one a lot.
I
I watched
remember
the
some.
first one, I'm like, that happened?
I
Oh.
remember the slime coming out of the faucets and stuff in the second one. I remember certain scenes from it very clearly.
Yeah, there's like a pink slime
Yeah, the pink goo.
that turns
I like when
stuff
they discover that it
supernatural.
responds to emotional feedback and it's like wiggling when they sing to it.
Mm.
They there's a whole bit where like at the end to get inside the building they like slime the Statue of Liberty, because a lot of people have very strong feelings about the Statue of Liberty as like an idol of good, right?
Yeah.
And they use like an NES controller to pilot it, and that's how they get in. And God, yeah, the second one was not that good. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Oh God. Oh man. Speaking of, earlier you mentioned, um, that earlier you mentioned something. I forgot what. Let's just pretend I said.
Yeah, you
Let's just
mentioned
pretend.
something.
Let's just
I
pretend
sure
I'm
did.
connecting this back to something you said before. But
Yep.
I have you ever seen the movie Nothing But Trouble,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
directed by Dan Aykroyd? Now, before I say
Mm,
anything else, this movie, the energy this movie has, this is like the perfect. This is the kind of movie that you stumble on cable and you like watch it from the middle to the end, and then you just
yeah.
forget about it, and then you can't remember if it was a real movie or not. Like you think like, was this kind of like, because like a lot of scenes were kind of like that scene happened in this other movie. Like, did I make it up? Like, right? But then years later, as an adult, you find the movie and you're like, yo, this was the movie, right? Like I'd never,
Yeah.
I did have a moment like that. I should tell you guys about it later.
yeah, yeah, and that's what the movie Nothing But Trouble is. It's like it's like perfect for that because it's a movie. It's like it stars Chevy Chase, and like he gets like pulled over, and he's like it's on the East Coast. They're trying to go to Atlantic City, and he gets pulled over in like some little bumfuck town in New Jersey, and it's ruled by like a weird like the main bad guy is like Dan Aykroyd in old guy makeup, and they make his like penis, they make his nose look like a penis, like that's the joke, and he controls this like
Mm,
small town, and it's like a giant mansion filled with like secret exits and trap doors, right? And there's like a lot of like practical like effects in it, and
Yeah.
it's so bizarre. It's like and because it's like I don't even know if it's like it's not that good of a movie. I don't think none of the choice like the movie made choices. That's the most I could say. I really can't. It's like okay, you know. It's not like anything really. And I think
oh
I
yeah, I found it.
yeah I heard
It's right
about
there.
yep, nothing but trouble. I no. Oh okay, you just fucking
It's a
loaded.
heartwarming true story of a young athlete who overcomes racism, probably. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Thank you, Dan Aykroyd.
It's
You can
1990.
tell that it's a Dan Aykroyd film because everything seems like it would make for a good joke, but it's all played way too
It
seriously.
was the
Mm,
first and last movie he directed.
really?
Yep, he never directed another movie after this.
I can see a
Well, I'll
studio seeing
be
this and saying,
damned.
no way, never again.
He yeah, and it's such a I I I heard about the movie because I was listening to a podcast with the creators of Smiling Friends, Michael Cusack and Zach Hato, and they said they really loved this movie, mostly for
Mm,
how weird it is, and I think the Dan Aykroyd old man character was kind of like their inspiration for the boss character in Smiling Friends, and I'm like, yeah, you kind of see that.
mm,
Oh,
I see.
Yeah, yeah. It's an out there kind of movie. It also has a young Tupac. Like, there's like
No
a
fucking
quick
way.
get. Like the joke is that the mayor and the judge are the same person. That's who the Dan Aykroyd character is, and he and they just pull over random people for like slight like traffic violations, and they just decide to kill them in their courtroom, and they pull over
Mm,
like the band that Tupac was when he first started in, and he just kind of like as a cameo, and he really likes them. Like he listens to their hip hop music, and he's all like, "Oh, I'm an old white guy. I love this," right?
mm-hmm.
And
Hilarious.
he lets them go scot free because he's like, I just need you guys to play the music for my daughter's wedding because his daughter, who's played by John Candy in drag, um,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna marry Chevy Chase because she's fallen in love with Chevy Chase, and I gotta say, Chevy Chase was super unfunny in this fucking movie. He kind of talks like
Yeah.
a Marvel superhero in the movie because he's constantly saying quips. He always has like a little quip. He always got like something funny to say. And I did learn later that Dan Aykroyd did let him improvise a lot of his lines. And I'm like, that explains it because they
damn.
were all super
Mm-hmm.
fucking unfunny. Speaking of Chevy Chase, this is a little off topic, but there's a piece of lost Chevy Chase media, and that's like the roast of Chevy Chase because apparently, infamously, he like
He did
cried at
not
the
take it
end of
well.
it. Yeah, he did not take it well.
Damn.
He has a history of just not being a good person to work with.
I've heard he's a huge asshole, and everyone who works with him hates him. and he was really obnoxious with the cast of Community.
He was very he has the kind of energy that like, oh, because he was like part of that group of the very famous like SNL members, all the
Yeah,
really big wigs. Since he was in that generation, he kind of like
yeah,
rode a lot of their coattails, and
yeah.
like he thought he was bigger than he actually was, and it's funny. It's funny. He's just too big for his fucking britches.
He's been in some good movies. He's been in some funny shit.
Mm-hmm. True that. You're right. I take it all back.
That's right. That's what you can't fucking say that. You've been in a movie. You've been in a funny movie.
You can't say that. Don't ever fucking disrespect Chevy Chase like that, or I'm gonna chase you with a
He's
gun.
a national treasure.
Do not come for the king.
if you come for the king, you better not miss.
That's what I meant to say.
So yeah, nothing but trouble. I don't recommend it. There's a better movie with the same premise is the movie Freak. Freaked is really good. It has Alex Winter.
When he gets turned into like that half mutant.
He turns into that half mutant monster. That's a really good movie. Really funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I know of it though.
I think it kind of has like the opposite problem Nothing But Trouble has, where like the problem is that Chevy Chase is like kind of like a scumbag character, but he's not like he's not funny enough for us to give a shit about him, right? So he just kind of stays a scumbag, and everything he gets is very unearned. While in Freak, like our main character is like not just a scumbag; he's like a cartoon scumbag. He's like the scummiest guy ever, right? To like such a cartoonish degree, and his like punishment is that he gets just mildly deformed. He gets like such an extreme deformity.
Turns into the titular freak.
Right, exactly. So it's funny. It matches it, right? And
is that Mr. T as a bearded lady, or
yeah, it's Mr. T as a bearded lady. It's funny because at the start of the movie, like, because the idea is that they're stuck in this like freak show, because like this mad scientist guy kidnaps all of them, turned them into freaks, and he's like in their show now. And and they all go into their backstory of how it happened, and like when we first meet like Mr. T, he says that like, I'm a woman and I'm proud. I've accepted this. I love this actually. And then in his origin, he like just met the mad scientist, and the mad scientist just whispers to him like, "Hey, you look a lot better without a dick, and gives him, but the way he says it's so goofy because it's like ADR, like it's a black and white flashback, and it's like obviously they recorded his dialogue like after they finished filming this scene, and it's so good. It's such a good movie. Freaked is a really good movie. Don't watch Nothing But Trouble. Watch Freaked. That's the way better. You get way more. There's way more freaks. There's a couple of freaks in Nothing But Trouble, but there's just like you get more freak. You get more freaks out of your buck.
Added bonus: none of the freaks are Dan Aykroyd.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying.
0 penis noses guaranteed.
Really, really good movie. Worthwhile. I need to get the Blu-ray. Get the
Blu-ray.
Fucking Blu-ray. Yeah, there's a Blu-ray for it. Now there is.
Nodding slowly.
Thank you. Thanks. That's all I wanted.
Dawning understanding.
Yes, freaked. Right. Quaint. Herm. Keanu Reeves is in it, but he's like he's like the dog boy. He got turned into a dog man, and he's covered in like pounds of like hair prosthetics, so you can't tell it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, right? Okay.
And he's doing like a fake Spanish accent, so
I see.
It's really out there. 10 out of 10 movie. With that, I think we are getting to the end of the podcast.
Just like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to wrap it.
Yeah, I think we just want to remind y'all we love women.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely, unconditionally.
Not as much as Tatsuya Ishida, the creator of Sinfest. He really loves women. He wants to protect women.
Yeah, I don't know if I can love women like that.
Yeah. I'm looking at this, and like the kid, is it porn that he's being tempted? Because like the girl is dressed like pretty modestly. She doesn't look like a porn
I think
girl.
in the lore of Sinfest, they like literally sell prostitutes and vending machines.
Yeah, they do, and
Okay.
he's like, "This is America right now. This is America right now. They're making
It's
our kids."
literally happening. This is literally
Someone
happening.
told him about OnlyFans, and he was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, basically, and this is kind of like
Yeah.
that, like the visage of the turfism that's like stuck inside of him, while he becomes more
Mm.
like right wing, and it's very, it's just really silly and goofy. Haha.
This okay, God, all right. I just had to like she doesn't look
I
like a degenerate slut.
I've been just skimming for more of the strips, and it's so like it's just awful. It's but there is like weird fucking lore. There's like little fucking arcs. He really like thinks about this shit, and it's like, damn. Did you ever just want to look in the mirror and think like, yo, this is really fucking dumb and stupid? But
There are strips where Slick looks in the mirror, and I guess he just didn't like what he saw.
He puts uh, such effort expended to say this. It's remarkable. But were we gonna do the final thing?
yeah, we're gonna do our final thing. Yeah, who deserves to get canceled?
Oh God.
Ben, you hate people. Do you have someone in mind?
Does it have to be like on Twitter? Because I haven't
No,
really been on Twitter.
it's never been. It never had to.
Maybe
Be
that's just
someone
how
on
I
Twitter.
used to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have one.
All right.
All right, you go, Julian. Then.
Sorry to get political, but I saw this week that Derek Chauvin got stabbed in prison, and I think we should cancel. We're gonna get those other cops in there. The other cops need to get stabbed as well. It's not enough. It's not enough.
They need to. They need to cancel doctors for saving his life. I think that's it. Deserves to get canceled.
It's it's nice. It's a nice token gesture to get Derek Chauvin stabbed, but he's just the tip of the iceberg. He's just a token. It's just a token sacrifice.
Obviously,
it's not good enough.
Obviously, the deep state has
of course
decided to kill him now, and I'm not.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he wasn't ready.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, Jesus saved him. Which is fucking. Oh my god, Julian, who do you got? Who do you got?
So this is fairly niche. Not everyone will probably get this, but I feel like I want to cancel YouTube for deactivating my account.
Oh yeah.
And not giving me any good reason for it. Like they just sent me an email, said you violated our deceptive practices or spam policy. And I'm like, how? I don't publish anything to the website. I just consume. I'm like the ideal customer. I'm paying for premium.
Okay, I mean the only thing that I can think of that makes sense, like, did somebody hack your account and start like posting spam messages, like spamming crypto thing? Did you get hacked?
That's not a possibility. I would have gotten a notification if that happened. If someone got into the account, they wouldn't be able to stop my notification.
If you didn't post anything, then what could possibly be deceptive? Whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, that seems like it must just be a mistake. Then, like, what else could it be?
Yeah, that sounds really.
Even if it turns out to be a mistake, I want an explanation, and YouTube will never give me.
Show me what was YouTube. Show me what was deceptive.
Yeah, they never do that. They never tell you what you've done wrong.
Well, they're supposed to if you ask them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they don't do that to everyone. I mean,
you probably have to be like a creator to get any sort of explanation.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But it wasn't like you were using the account, right?
Oh, I use it every day.
For what?
You know, my feed, my playlists.
Oh, your feed. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think if you
I'm literally paying for premium.
I think if you complain and what's the word? When like your trial is over, but you say no, we need another trial. Appeal. I think if you appeal, you might get. It might take a while, and they might be sluggish about it, but I think you might get it reinstated because that just sounds fucking goofy and like there's no
Yeah,
possible
I
reason.
sent a poorly worded reply out
Mhm.
of anger, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they'll look past all of the f bombs and realize, oh, this guy is legitimately mad, and we should make it right.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That makes sense.
Epic.
But
Cheesy,
also,
who
just like in general, cancel all of these content platformers. They're not your friends.
content? Oh, right. Yeah.
They're evil.
Yep. And if you try to make
Everyone's
your
like,
own platform, you'll be evil too.
You better turn your own platform. You better not put any Nazis in it, like everyone does. Everyone's like, I'm really just gonna do that.
Who do you think we should cancel, Cheesy?
We should cancel money. We should cancel
Truly,
everyone who's
yes.
playing Super Mario RPG remake because I'm not playing it and I really want to.
I don't like the way the menus look. I liked how they used to be up
Ew,
in the corner, and now
gross.
they're just like a fucking bar on the bottom of the screen. It's much soulless. It's much more soulless, frankly.
That
Bad change, but I mean, I'm sure the game is still fun.
I think I like this. I like a lot of the changes because it seems like that there's certain little quirks they kept, which I appreciate, and I'm glad
Like
they
what?
kind of sticked with the more like oh like did you ever hear about there's like a secret frog coin and like what was it like Peach's castle that you can only
Yes,
get
the
if
one
you
that you can't get unless you jump on the guy's head at that one moment, and if you miss it, you can never get it again. And then for the rest of the game, the item finder will beep, even though there's no way to get the item.
yeah
Well,
they kept that
oh
in
yeah, no,
the
that.
and they didn't really kept that in the new okay they kept it technically in the new game but they did it that like after that part like the toad is just wandering the hallway anyway
You
so
know what? You know what? That's fine. That's that was like a problem with the game, and they fixed it. I think that's good. It's a good
hmm
change.
I think I like that Mario still looks tiny and goofy. I think I like his little scrimblowfication. Not.
Yeah.
I know there's there's like other details people brought up that like oh it's cool that they kept this from the game and I saw like a thread about it and I was like that's neat and I am
You know what?
unironically big fan of Super Mario RPG. Can't wait to play it type of person.
I I wasn't gonna play it. I mean, I like Super Mario RPG, but
Well, I mean, you already played. You don't fucking have to.
they should have. They should have. I replayed it. Well, I guess honestly it was maybe like 8 or 9 years ago at this point. Um, they should. They should have. They should have. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Final Fantasy VII remaked it. They should have pretended it was a remake, but then it's just a completely different story. It would have been so
It,
sick.
it opens with the
That
death of
that would have played for sure.
someone should make the game where it's like it's called Mario something, and then the first level Mario dies, and then you play as Peach, and then and Mario doesn't come back till the end.
There was a Peach game like that. Mario is like legitimately imprisoned, but it was marketed as a Peach game, so I
Wait,
guess that is
was he in
different.
prison or was he was? Are you talking about Super Princess Peach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
I
game.
played. I had that game and I played. I don't remember if he was in prison.
No,
I don't remember where
he
he was.
got like Bowser. Like I got a new power, and I've kidnapped Mario and Luigi and all the Mushroom Kingdom. And Peach is like, now I gotta fucking do something about this. Fuck, I'm a woman. Fuck.
That was the tagline of the game. I'm a woman. Fuck.
She's obsessed. She's bad. Fuck, I'm a woman. Damn it. Shit.
That explains the emotion-based power.
Yeah, the
Tripping and fall off an
emotion-based
infinite ledge.
powers.
Fuck. I'm a woman.
Fuck,
Fuck.
damn it. Fuck. You know what? It might be time now to. I think I could accumulate a lot of Reddit gold. By doing. I had this epic idea for a Bowser game, and I'm not gonna program a whole fucking game. I'm not gonna do that, but I do have it. I do kind of like have a visual in my head of what the like opening cutscene to explain the Bowser game would have
Mm-hmm.
been, and it's basically just kind of like Bowser the game just starts with Bowser losing to Mario and he's like why do I keep losing and it's like oh maybe to defeat Mario I gotta think like Mario right so
Mm-hmm.
he gets like he picks a random Koopa Troopa to be like his like Bowser, kind of his pretend Bowser, right? While he like
Right.
plays through like recreation of like the first two Mario games, right? And this
Yeah.
and this like pretend Bowser is like looking for all his like level plans, and he realized like, wait a second, he's been like just designing levels for games. He wasn't like really trying to defeat Mario. What the fuck? And then he's like, then the Koopa's like, wait, I think I know what to do. And the Koopa the Koopa now with the controlling the Bowser army has like kidnapped Mario and all the Mushroom Kingdom just by himself by totally ignoring Bowser's plans, and then Bowser, who was distracted by playing recreations of the first Mario game, was like finds out about this, and he goes to his castle where they're all celebrating. He's all like, "Yep, this was part of my plan the whole time. Haha, good job, guys." And he's like, he's telling this Koopa like, "All right, well, you can now like leave the throne." And this new like the pretend Bowser is like, "No, dude, fuck you. We've been failing this whole time because of you. You need to get you out of here." And they all like, they mutiny Bowser and they shove him into a cannon and they shoot him far away, right? And that'd be like that's like the start of the game. It's Bowser landing like wherever he lands, and he has to go back and rebuild his army and take back his kingdom, right? And
Yeah.
and this
I like
like
that.
and this pretend Bowser. I'm gonna drop some Mario lore. I'm gonna put my own custom Mario lore into this. The pretend Koopa for the course of the game, he starts looking more and more like Bowser. Like he actually starts like slowly transforming into kind of like a Bowser looking Koopa, right? And
Oh.
this is my
Kind of
biological
like how an orangutan will start to grow a flange when it becomes the alpha
when when
of the
Oh,
range.
exactly. So this is kind of how the Koopa this is why he's see because Bowser is a Koopa. It's just that when there's an alpha Koopa, they turn into a Bowser, right?
Holy shit!
And
Yeah, I love it.
that's
Love
the
it.
biological explanation. I'm thinking about making
Would
this.
Bowser start shrinking and like losing his spikes and
He
getting like
starts losing
skinnier?
his penis gets small, his masculine balls get smaller. He starts losing, and he's all like, "All right, I gotta store up on testosterone. No more nutting for me," which is like a mini game in the game. And he has to fight. No, no, he has to like he has to
I can't afford to lose any more testosterone. I got to stop
he
taking these finasteride
I would
supplements.
actually
Oh,
get
the
excited to
hair
play
starts
this
falling
game.
out.
he
Oh damn! No, my
he's
plugs.
like I gotta ban Rule 34. No more Princess Peach tag for me.
I like this a lot.
No more.
Only I kind of think. Has there ever been a game where you play as Bowser? I
There's
feel like
been
it
like
might
a
not.
There
handful of
were Mario
games.
RPGs on like
There've been
a
segments where you
DS.
play as him, but he's not very fun to play as because he's really slow and lumbering. I think it would be an interesting challenge to make one where you play as him and it's actually fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I'm
that
sure it could be done, and I'd play
yeah.
it.
I think it's something I really yeah. So I'm hoping that like there's someone I feel like if I do this comic, I could there's someone I might be able to convince to like make an animated to make it animated. I'm on the fence about it though, but we'll see. Cheesymanfredo always got plans. Cheesy's like never without a
Mm.
plan. That's why they call me Planny
Animated
Manfredo.
by Alvin Earthworm.
Yeah, yeah, Alvin Earthworm. Animated by Uncle Joe. He's not doing anything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You
truly.
mean
I
you
mean,
mean
you clone.
Robinette Biden?
Nah,
Uh,
Hunter Biden, animated by Hunter Biden. He was big on Newgrounds. He was big on Newgrounds, and he did too much crack, and he's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna finish these animations. Ah,
mm.
oh, I did too much crack. I can't focus on this Flash game that I'm making where you get to fuck Princess Peach. Shit."
Yep, that's right. Really bad.
People talk about Newgrounds. They're like, "Oh, I love Newgrounds." They never bring up my Newgrounds, which is the Meat and Fuck Kingdom games. That's my Newgrounds.
That's right. You made those?
No, no, that's like my my childhood, if you will.
Oh, okay.
I
Newgrounds
never
was
played
my
those. I just
childhood.
went there to watch the free zone animations.
When I say Newgrounds was my childhood, this is what I'm talking about. It's like a screenshot of Meat and Fuck Kingdom.
I've never played Meat and Fuck Kingdom. Should I check it out? Is it good?
It's kind of long.
I
I
hate
think
that.
it's pretty. It's not too bad. My favorite Meat and Fuck Kingdom games are my favorite Meat and Fuck games are the ones where you can play it with just like one hand. I
Sure.
like it when they think about like gameplay that way.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
diet shit
Never
now.
anywhere else in the
Good
industry
game
has
feel.
that innovation been taken advantage of. It's truly evergreen.
right? Exactly,
All right,
exactly.
I'm looking up Meat and Fuck Kingdom on. Oh, what?
Newgrounds.
I can't. It's not gonna let me. I have to log into my fucking Newgrounds. No.
But I agree, Nintendo should be canceled because this Bowser game doesn't exist.
Exactly. I did post all those Mario
Oh.
mashes I made last year on TikTok, and I've been getting a lot of Nintendo hire this man. I wish. These enemies should show up in Mario Wonder. And I'm like, you know
Oh
what?
yeah, that would be a great vehicle for
And
that.
I know it sounds like I make fun of these people, but I love it when people say this man should work for Nintendo, especially when they say it about me. It feeds my ego. It's like
Mm-hmm.
nutrients, really. Like if I don't get that, I die.
Yeah.
Here's my
That's why I started drawing anime characters for my ego.
here's my epic game where you're Mario and you fuck Bowsette for 10 hours. Nintendo, hire this man. Where you could eat out her butthole in this game. That's one of the mini games.
For Princess Peach.
Yeah, you can do the print. Yeah, I guess you can do it for Princess Peach.
You know those games where they tie a manual function to the right stick?
Yeah.
Like you're turning the right stick, and that's like you're controlling Bowser's tongue to like rim her ass.
Yeah.
And his tongue only moves when you move the stick.
It's WarioWare, but you fuck. You have sex.
I'm sure somebody's made WarioWare, but for sex.
There has. I played that on
People
Newgrounds.
do that in
It's on
WarioWare.
Newgrounds.
Oh yeah, it's called WarioWare.
It's called WarioWare. It's WarioWare, but they fuck. I played that on Newgrounds. I forgot what it was called. It was not called WarioWare, but they fuck. It was called something else.
Well, yeah, it has to be. It has to be something.
It's always something.
Honestly, why isn't that something I can buy on Steam?
I don't know.
That would be great on a Steam deck.
I think I gotta wrap it up. But
Yeah.
Ben,
I think it's about that time.
what do you want to promote, Ben? What do you got? Up your butt.
Watch my YouTube channel, Saint Comics, Ben Saint, Saint Comics with an X. I'll be putting up a video sometime in the not too distant future. Hopefully, it won't be too long. It'll be the biggest piece of shit you've ever seen. It'll be the biggest fucking heap of trash that ever got shat out into the content ecosystem. A monument to wasted time, and you'll love it.
And you'll eat it up, and you'll thank me for it, you piggy.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I have to say for myself. I'm sorry.
Julian,
I'm sorry.
Say the line, Julian.
Yep, my line. Please visit vqcd.in. It's my website with all the cool stuff. Eventually, you will be able to read my super cool art magazine, which will contain a express apology to Ben Saint for making fun of him for not paying the people in his PCP magazine, because I'm like $1,000 in the hole right now, and there's still no magazine.
Wait, I paid.
So you better read it, listener.
I paid those people.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he paid.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, it was wicked cool when I paid those guys.
Yeah, he did pay us.
Thank you.
Nice.
He was gonna give you a gotcha.
That's a double apology.
He had that gotcha already in the back of the mind. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait to say this gotcha to Ben and fucking ruin his career."
He's trying to ambush me, but I was ready. I was ready with a bombshell.
Now I gotta go with Plan B. Show up to his house and fucking shoot him.
Yeah. That's the only thing left.
And I'm Cheesymanfredo, and maybe in the next episode of the podcast, I will say that I'm working on something completely different that I said I was working on. Who knows, really?
That's half the fun.
Kind of like that's just the problem with being a fucking genius. I've been trying to tell people to call me the glitch, based on a Kanye West quote where he was in an interview and he was all like, "You seen Wreck-It Ralph? You know the little girl? She was the glitch. I'm the glitch." And I'm like, damn, that's true. That's true.
Man,
But where's the lie though? and
Yeah.
I haven't fucked with it. And like I was like, yeah, I'm the glitch because I sometimes I say stuff to people and they say that won't work, and I'm like, yeah, but have you
Like that one
considered
video game nerd.
have you considered that maybe I'm the glitch? Maybe it'll work this time because maybe I'm the glitch. Have you considered that?
You come for the glitch. You best not miss.
Exactly. I'm the fucking glitch that stole Christmas over here. Come on, dude.
Uh,
I'm the
giant.
I'm Miles. I'm fucking Miles Morales from Beyond the Spider Verse. Or I'm the fucking glitch. They're mad I exist, dude. That's who I am. Oh, you know, yeah. I'm gonna most likely do everything you just said. Come on, maybe.
You gotta.
I promised it now on this
It's not a matter of
podcast.
if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, when? Tomorrow. Everything I said gonna be delivered by tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll be waiting.
I'll be waiting.
I'll be waiting.
All right. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
That's good talking to you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Ben Saint. Lovely Ben Saint, folks.
Good night.
Good night and goodbye.
Goodbye.